Gaston and Eli Savoie. Sports 56 Middays is presented by FedEx. FedEx, helping small businesses simplify e-commerce.
And Virginia with the all-time turnaround title.
We the North are now we the champions. The Raptors, the 2019 NBA champs.
3-2. Washington Nationals are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Let the good times roll. LSU sits on the throne of college football.
And this one is over. Kansas City has won their first Super Bowl in 50 years.
Now, here are your hosts for Sports 56 Middays, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Countryside, lay back and smell the sun, warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good friends that live down the street. Got a good looking woman with her arms around me. Here in a small town where it feels like home. I got everything I need.
Welcome into Sports 56 Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie to join me in just a moment. Gabe Kuhn as well. We are making sure that we are coming out on air. It sounds a little funky right here from the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Let's see if we get this thing straightened out. Okay, there we go. Should be a little bit better. That still sounds a little tinny there, Gabe Kuhn. There we go. Welcome in, everybody, to Sports 56 Middays. Off to a rollicking start. Huh?
No idea.
Yeah, it still really sounds funny in my headphones, but we welcome you into the Friday edition of Middays. What else could be going on? Let's see. We are battling a disease that has killed many people now across this great world of ours, and now is getting worse here in the United States. We have another rainy day in the Mid-South, so that's depressing. But at least it's Friday. It's still Friday. That's what's important. And we welcome you into the show. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, the great folks at FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. I'm going to try one more thing here because I don't know if this is coming out clear as it should be. Make sure we got it all straightened out. There we go. All right, now it's working. Beautiful. Beautiful. Sounds a lot better. All right. Sports 56 Middays, as I mentioned, brought to you by FedEx, the title and presenting sponsor of the program. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. So coming up on the show today, another busy show we have planned for you. A lot of good information to pass along. We'll try to be as entertaining as we can during these tough times. Ryan Silverfield will join us at 10:25. He's the head football coach at the University of Memphis. And, of course, it's his first year as head coach. Not the spring football session he was envisioning as he took over this program after Mike Norvell's departure to Florida State. No spring football whatsoever. So certainly behind the eight ball. The fortunate thing is, and I talked about this earlier in the week, with Ryan is that Ryan has been here. He knows the system, the players. He knows the players know him. He knows the coaches know him. So even without spring football, I think that transition is a lot easier than it is for new coaches just entering a new program without any history and knowledge of how things should run. Trying to basically develop it on the fly and not being able to have spring football puts them behind the eight ball. Now, I heard a lot of things yesterday about national people saying, 2020, the college football season. Forget about the spring sports. The college football season could be in jeopardy. Look, we're a long ways away from that. I'm not going to be this doomsday broadcaster here on Middays. It's not going to happen. I mean, I'm thinking positive. I'm thinking that, we can get our lives back to normal here sooner than later, and that 2020 and the college football season will go off without a hitch. Again, maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but I'm not going to start thinking about a shortened football season or no college football season. I'm thinking positive. Now, even though without spring football, there's positive vibes certainly around the University of Memphis with what has happened with football over the last 5 or 6 years, and Ryan Silverfield looking to keep that torch going and running with that torch on in the start of the 2020 season. So he will join us at 10:25. At 11 o'clock, Pete Pranica. He's the television voice of the Memphis Grizzlies. And, it's tough for everybody, but especially a guy who is used to calling a lot of NBA games. And so he's got to be a little stir-crazy, I'm sure Pete is. But he's a man of many talents, and I'm sure he's biding his time doing a lot of very productive things. He's a very scholarly type guy, and I'm sure he's reading a lot of books and things of that nature. We'll catch up with Pete, find out what he's doing as he passes the time, if you will. And then at 12 o'clock, Corey Evans. He's the national basketball analyst at Rivals.com. Very curious to hear what he has to say about recruiting and what's going on with no visits and the recruiting just basically halted. But players that will be making decisions here very soon, including Jalen Green. What are his thoughts on those players? If they're going to play in college, what college will it be? Or if they're going to turn professional? So we'll get the thoughts of Corey Evans on that. I also want to get his thoughts on Precious Achiuwa and what he thinks will happen as far as the NBA is concerned, how high he thinks he'll go in the NBA draft. We will continue with our best sit-down restaurant chain tournament. We are into the round of 32, and we will get to that a little bit later on in the show. And then when we get down to the, Elite Eight, Gabe, or the Final Four will involve our listeners?
Elite Eight.
Okay, so we're looking forward to that. Plus 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. That continues. Give you a chance to win a nice prize package. That'll be coming up in our final hour. All right, a few things. Yesterday we had the Honorable Mayor of Memphis, Jim Strickland, on the program. And he indicated, because I asked him about the Memphis in May events, and we're getting closer, and we haven't heard anything about a cancellation. But he said we would hear later in the day. And we did hear later in the day. And as you know by now, Memphis in May, all the events have been postponed. Now, later in the day, Kevin Kane came on with Wolo and Stats, and he had indicated that the Music Fest will be moved to October 16th through the 18th, and the Barbecue Fest 2 weeks prior to that. So to open up the month of October from what will be Memphis in October will be the Barbecue Fest, the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest, and then the Music Fest, October 16th through the 18th. So, again, that's temporary. That's preliminary. We don't know where we'll be at that point, but hopefully we'll be back to business as usual. And instead of having it in May, it'll be in October. But that was something that was inevitable. We knew it was coming, and Jim Strickland, the mayor of Memphis, mentioned that on our show that it was going to come later in the day, and that announcement did come. Also, a civil emergency was declared for the city of Memphis. So while we talked about curbside pickup and things of that nature with the mayor, he talked about, and he hadn't declared a civil emergency by that point when we had him on the show, but he did later on in the afternoon. So restaurants will close to takeout and drive-through only, and basically eliminating any customers from being actually in the restaurants where they can, certainly gather and accumulate, and we're trying to limit the people that are in one place at one time with the social distancing. So that was inevitable, as Eli Savoie joins me now. So we knew that was going to happen. So a lot of things after the mayor got off the air with us, Eli, things happened, and they happened very quickly yesterday. So just updating everybody in case they haven't heard all the news. And the other thing is tax day has been moved. Now, I haven't seen this yet on Twitter, but I heard Peter talk about it, that tax day, which is normally April 15th, has been pushed back to July 15th. So that's...
I shouldn't have paid already. What are we... I think we owed $44. I could have saved that $44 for a couple of months.
Have you already done your taxes?
Yeah.
We are kind of the last...
Why would you not?
We're kind of the last second type family.
And I actually did them... Let's see. I did them about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, which is very late for me. normally, the big part of that was got a little more complicated this year with the whole being married thing. So
That'll do it.
It used to be really simple for me to do them by myself. Like I was just, and I use because I just do it online. I do the H&R Block or TurboTax. I think this year I used H&R Block. But used to be very simple, just boom, 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 and be done. It took me about 20 minutes to do it. Now with being married, made things a little bit more complicated, so I procrastinated a little bit. Usually I'm done by like February 10th. Like as soon as I get all my W-2s and stuff, I normally have had it done. This year I got a little bit lazy. Now, I wish I would have saved them because just it would give me something to do right now.
Well, I used to go to a CPA. Then I went to H&R Block, and it was very expensive. And now my wife does TurboTax online, but she's been very busy.
Simple.
She's been very busy over at Le Bonheur Children's Research Hospital. So, yeah, the delay will help out us and will help out a lot of people. I want to remind everybody, I forgot to do this at the start. James Gaddis Jewelers, first hour sponsor of Middays, your bridal engagement and anniversary jeweler headquarters. You can call them at 901-767-9648. And right now, just go to the website. Check out all their great jewelry at GaddisJewelers.com. So yesterday, and we're going to be joined here in just a moment by Craig Blondis. But just yesterday, I was driving around. I went on a hunt for toilet paper. It's come to that. I went on a hunt for toilet paper.
The great toilet paper hunt of 2020.
It really was. I went to 7 different places. No toilet paper. Costco's. I didn't want to get in the big line at Costco. But I asked the person. I went up to the front. And I said, "Is there toilet paper?" Before I get in this big line and wait. No, there's no toilet paper. All right. Okay. I'm not getting in the line. Kroger's, Walmart's. Walgreens, all these places, nothing. My son finds a place on Summer Avenue, a little market on Summer Avenue. He proceeds to buy the toilet paper, a bunch of like big, like 12 rolls and 18 rolls. He buys it up, but he spends a lot of money on it. So he tells me after the fact, and he ends up basically spending double what it would cost. So all I want to say is out there, if you have a store, don't gouge people. Don't up the prices. Okay, he paid it.
Good luck.
I'm paying it back to him.
Good luck.
Yeah, but don't gouge. Okay, do not gouge. So speaking of businesses, and one of our great sponsors that have been behind Sports 56 for years and years and years is, of course, Central Barbecue. But it's much more than that with our friend Craig Blondis. It's across the board restaurant. Business, and they own Sweetgrass and 117 Prime and 3rd and Court and Sunrise and all the Central Barbecues. And as everybody knows, everybody is being hit hard, but especially the service industry, the restaurants, the hotels, and things of that nature. And Craig joins us now during these tough times. Craig, I hope you're doing well, but I know the answer is probably no.
Well, why ask it if you already know?
I know. It's just the obligatory "how you doing," but I know this is awful. Look, it's tough on everybody, but for a guy who has been part of this, a staple of this community for so long with all your restaurants and having so many employees and customers, boy, this has to be really, really tough. What are you guys doing now to try to at least make ends meet and be able to serve up some of that great food for folks who now can't go into the restaurants to enjoy it?
Well, I mean, we're still going to do curbside, and we're amping up delivery so that, you don't want to leave the house. We can still bring it to you. And that is provided as long as Mayor Strickland allows us to do so. But, that's about all we can do. Today alone, I had to lay off probably 100 people.
Oh, my gosh.
Never in my lifetime would I have thought that I would have to let my family go.
Yeah, it's
hard.
Awful.
We consider each other family, and there's only so much I can do. I know I'm not the only one in this situation. We all are. We're going to get through it, one way or another. I want everybody to be safe more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Wash your hands, stay at home, distance, People are still not really taking to heart that, what's going to happen if we're not careful. We're going to be like San Francisco and be on lockdown. I don't want that. I don't think anybody wants
Nobody
that.
does, no.
But, is what it is. You talk about the toilet paper and people gouging. That's one thing we will not do. as long as I can stay open and provide meals for my community, I'm going to do it. And I urge everybody to support local at this time.
There's no doubt about that. That is for sure. So, Craig, what are all of your places going to be providing carry-out? Are they open for carry-out, or is there any that aren't open at all?
Yeah, we've already had to close the doors at 117 Prime and 3rd and Court. With the hotels, nobody's traveling.
Yeah.
They have less than a 10% occupancy. I can't even pay my staff on that. So, Unfortunately, those two have closed. The remaining restaurants, Sweetgrass, Sunrise, and all the Centrals, we will be doing delivery as well as curbside as long as we can.
Okay. All right. Because downtown is just, as you mentioned, with the hotel industry and everything else. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people downtown right now.
No, and I thought that with the apartments and stuff down there, South Bluff and everything, that we be able to get a lot of to-go business. But right now, I'm not seeing it downtown. I think everybody's just kind of being cautious at this point.
You have a lot of friends. You have a lot of friends in the restaurant business, restaurateurs like yourself, business people, entrepreneurs. I'm sure you've talked to a lot of people, and just what you have expressed, is that the general consensus from everybody that you've spoken with?
Pretty much it is. I'm in a position where with the style, the fast casual, and what we do, I'm not going to be hurt as bad as a lot of the fine dining upscale restaurants. Because my price point's lower, people will order to go. I can't see anybody paying $50 to have a steak delivered or anything like that. Now, I may be wrong, but, I hope nothing but the best for all of them. I hope that the curbside and delivery works for them. I just see it's going to be an uphill battle for the next couple of months, and then what do we do when we totally get shut down like all the other cities are doing? At that point, I don't know what. I just hope that the government will take care of us on the back end.
Absolutely. Craig, thank you. I know it's tough times. Really appreciate you passing along that information. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me on, and support our community. We need it right now more than ever.
Absolutely. Thank you, Craig. That's Craig Blondis, the part of the Across the Board restaurant group. They own all the Central Barbecue, Sweetgrass, 117 Prime, 3rd and Court, and Sunrise. So I assume, again, with the latest from the mayor yesterday with the restaurants and nobody allowed to go into the restaurants and sit and eat. But I assume that with Craig, he talked about calling up, curbside delivery, order your Central Barbecue, they'll come out, they'll bring it to your car. I don't believe any of the Central Barbecues have a drive-through. Other places that have drive-throughs, they're fine. You just go through the drive-through. A lot of places now
and Central Barbecue is also delivering to you.
And delivering. And I was going to get to delivering. But the curbside is something that's been added by a lot of restaurants that don't normally do that. Delivery, of course, is always been an option. Drive-through for restaurants that have drive-throughs. But as far as going in and ordering takeout, I drove by today on my way here, Gibson's Donuts. I was just curious, like, what's going on there. And so I drove by, and there's a bunch of people inside. Now, I assume nobody can sit down and dunk a donut and a cup of coffee. That's not – but they're still there, and they're still gathered in a pack, a lot of people ordering the donuts. I guess it's pretty tough to do the donuts on the curbside. I guess you can call in if they want to do that and say, give me a half a dozen of glazed. But I looked at that, and I'm like, is that what they want? I mean, people are gathered all together in a herd inside.
Well, they don't want that, but again, it is not. It is a suggestion. I mean, those people don't have to do that.
I thought that's what I'm trying to ask.
You cannot sit down and eat in the restaurants in the city of Memphis.
But they can go in and still order the takeout.
Food to take out, yes.
I think the next move will be to call the restaurant for the takeout, and they all do curbside. Because, again, I think that defeats the purpose a little bit. If you have a lot of people in one area.
And there are, it's a little bit confusing because I actually last night, because I thought it was going to be the last day, and I wanted to go talk to some people up at East Coast Wings, and they were very confused because they are not in the city of Memphis, so they didn't even know if this applied to them, and it doesn't. Right now, it is the city of Memphis is the mandate.
Sure.
So these ones in these suburbs, like East Coast Wings, will be open today for people
to go inside and eat.
Yes. because they have been the suburbs have not all enacted this thing. It is it's very confusing, but my understanding is the only ones that absolutely applies to the mandate that you cannot be open is in the city of Memphis.
Yeah, but that's where we get into trouble, like you said, because of the confusion, because we have city ordinances and county ordinances and state and federal, and then we have suburbs that are not part of the big city of Memphis or wherever that city may be around the country. And there's different rules and regulations
the county
and different
mayor
mandates.
Could make
Absolutely, which I think probably will
declaration,
happen.
But at this point, that apparently has not happened. Like East Coast, they seat they've got every other table, like they're keeping people separated. There's like 3 stools at the bar, all separated by wide margins. They're doing their best, but they are technically still open for you to go in there and sit and eat.
And you feel for these businesses. I mean, this isn't the spring breakers out there screaming that we only get to go to spring break one time and we're not going to. No, this is the livelihood of these people. They own these businesses, and I'm not talking about even the big chains are hurt by this immensely. But I'm talking about the little guys who may not be able to open their doors again once it's all closed down. That's what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of these places, I'm sure, that are going to close their doors and never be able to open them again. And then the people that work in the places. Just talking with some of the servers last night up there, I mean, like, they don't know. It's because it's not like, oh, well, this one's closing, I'll just go get another job at this. You can't. This is what these people do, and there's nowhere to go work, and so they don't know how long they're going to be out of work. So it's really, really tough stuff.
Andy Kennedy won't be out of work long because he is going to be taking over the UAB basketball job, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. More professional athletes testing positive for the coronavirus. We will discuss that. Todd Gurley apparently has a new home after being released by the Rams. But when we return, we're going to talk some Memphis Tigers football. Head coach Ryan Silverfield is scheduled to join us. Again, the first hour of the program brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Elmo. The website, gaddisjewelers.com. Your bridal engagement and anniversary jeweler headquarters, been serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners for 23 years.
Somebody, Nico texted and he said, tell Craig Blondis his favorite Q slinger said, we got through Hurricane Elvis and the great Thanksgiving turkey heist. This too shall pass. I'm going to have to ask Craig about the great Thanksgiving turkey heist. I've never heard that story.
Well, I love the optimism from Nico. I'm with him 100%. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Everything about the new Underground Lounge downstairs from 3rd and Court downtown is designed to make you feel like you're in the coolest place you can imagine being. And every Sunday from 7 to 10, there's nothing cooler than jazz at the Underground Lounge. Enjoy the swinging atmosphere, the signature cocktails you can't find anywhere else, and the smooth jazz played by Memphis's finest musicians. There's always great live music at the Underground Lounge, blues, R&B, and every Sunday, jazz from 7 to 10. End the week on the perfect note, jazz at the Underground Lounge.
Your Memphis Tigers football program completed the greatest season in program history with 12 wins, a conference championship, and a berth in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Season tickets for the 2020 season are on sale now and start at just $100 when you buy 4 in the family fun zone, or $150 for end zone seating. Get your season tickets by May 15th and receive a free gift, concessions deals, exclusive access to regular season and postseason tickets, and more. Get your season tickets today at GoTigersGo.com or call 901-678-2331. Memphis Tigers football.
Hilo Commercial Services can help protect your workplace and employees. Call Hilo Commercial Services today to help mitigate the dangerous effects of the coronavirus and the flu virus. Hilo offers complete deep cleaning and sanitizing services for schools, churches, medical facilities, office buildings, residential, warehouses, and more, all customized to your needs. Put safety first with Hilo Commercial Services. Call Philip right now at 901-277-6733. 901-277-6733. It's time for Hilo Commercial Services.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. 10:27 is the time. Hour 1, Sports 56 Middays on this rainy Friday, March 20th, 2020. But at least it's Friday. The weekend is just about here, although I don't know what you're going to do over the weekend that you
slop around in the
mud.
That
you can do during the week. It's the same deal.
You can go outside and slop through the mud.
Well, here's the thing. Now, city golf courses have been shut down. And yesterday was interesting because my son was asking me to go play golf, and then he goes over to the golf course, and they closed it, but there were still people on the course because they had accepted early rounds for the morning. You could finish your round. So I drove by later, and I saw somebody at 18, somebody at 17 closing out their rounds. Now, there are other courses that are open. Like, for example, Miramici's open this weekend, and tomorrow's supposed to be sunny.
The city, just the city-owned courses that are closed right now. I think that's the only ones. I've not heard of any others that are closed. Speaking of golf, Edwin Watts Golf Shop, they are closed through April 3rd, at least. That is, I talked to Jay yesterday. They were going to try and do some limited hours, but they have decided that they are going to be closed up until April 3rd. So, and then they will kind of reassess from there. So basically, was it 10 days, 12 to 2 weeks, basically, they're going to be closed there at Edwin Watts. So if you need those golf supplies, you'll have to be patient. Hopefully they'll be able to reopen right after that. But for now, the folks over at Edwin Watts are going to be closed until at least April 3rd.
Yeah, I think when we bring up the term service industry, we think about restaurants, bars, hotels. But think about all the stores, all the clothing stores, all those places where you would go, like Edwin Watts, go in and purchase something, and they're closed down. So it is affecting a lot of people.
There's a lot of people that are losing jobs, and it really, really sucks.
Of course, it has affected the sports world, to say the least. Basically, has shut down the sports world, and that includes everything that's happening over at the University of Memphis. We are very pleased to be joined by the Tigers head football coach, Ryan Silverfield, who you can follow on Twitter at @RSilverfield. He joins us now on Middays. Coach, first of all, how are you and the family doing?
Doing well. Thank you guys for asking. Biggest thing for us right now is the concern for our welfare of our student athletes, and that's will always be my number one concern, but obviously in trying in unprecedented times like this.
I ran into.
How are you guys doing?
We're hanging in there.
We're surviving.
Same as everybody else. But I ran into one of your staff members yesterday at one of the local establishments, probably trying to do what I was trying to do, find some toilet paper. But anyway, I ran into him. We kept our distance. We didn't shake hands or do anything like that. But he talked about, and he just acknowledged your leadership and the rest of the staff and how they have really done an amazing job in being able to keep in touch with the players who are scattered all over the place. Some still in apartments, I think, in the Memphis area, but many that were already out of town because of spring break that are now at their respective homes. So it's not easy when you're dealing with a football team and trying to keep up with like over 100 guys.
Yeah, no question. I give full credit and kudos to, President Rudd and Laird Beach for their leadership with all this. Obviously, it's an ever-changing deal. So the biggest thing is we've got to have a clear-cut plan, and knowing good and well that plan could change every hour, on the hour. And, for me, just being able to communicate with our staff, hey, here's what we want this to look like, here's what we need to do. We've been fortunate to be able to put in communication things in place for our current players, whether it be, using FaceTime and Zoom or other things that we're able to talk to them from afar just to make sure they're doing okay. One, to make sure them and their family are healthy and well. And then, it also gives us an opportunity to maybe even talk some football with them and check in on them, give them a break from their daily lives of, quarantine, doing those things and keeping social distance.
Are you able to go into the office? Are you doing everything from home? How is that working?
Yeah, personally what I've done is we've set up a schedule moving forward for our staff so that we don't want more than 10 people in the office. I just, I believe in them taking care of themselves, being around their family. So it's very, very, very limited. I am by myself now, so it's, it's a little bit different, but, just keeping our distance from everybody. And really, I want our coaches and our staff to be at home with their family as much as they can be and realize that's where it's important. And, the work nowadays, we're so fortunate with technology that anything that needs to be done at this time can be done from home. So that's what we're trying our best to do.
Memphis Tigers head football coach Ryan Silverfield joining us here on Midday. So I said this earlier, Coach, and by no means did I say it was easier for you, but I said, obviously not having this first spring practice as head coach, you're fired up for it, it goes away. But I said that I think, at least with the University of Memphis, they have an advantage that some of the other schools don't have that also have a new head coach that came in from somewhere else. The fact that you have been in the system, you have been here at Memphis, you know the players, you know the coaches, you've been around this program, it makes it at least a tad easier than a new coach who has just walked into a system somewhere else and is missing their spring session. You at least have that familiarity. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, look, I'm very fortunate to have relationships with most of our players. So I think, even when I go to FaceTime them, they know that when I, tell them to stay at home and to do the proper things in order to, flatten this curve with the coronavirus, they know that I'm looking out for their best interest. It's not just me being a dictator or a leader, that it's me being, understanding that I care about them on and off the field. And I think that helps significantly. And then also, just with our staff, having great trust and our coordinators has been huge. And having those guys, with two of our three coordinators returning, that certainly makes it easier. So I'm not sitting there panicking, oh, my gosh, we're going to be able to get this installed. Obviously, on the defense side of the ball, with that new staff, got great trust and belief in what they're going to be able to do. And they've been great. It's the other day, I know they all got on the social media or whatever it may be, the Zoom or the FaceTime, and they were able to see all their guys. For us also, what's so important about that is, they start their schoolwork on Monday. So, the school semester starts back. And so for me, it's not just about the, just checking in, but also make sure they're doing what they're supposed to academically.
Right.
When you think about this, when they're here on campus, they got fantastic academic support. They're able to go up to Wilder Tower. They're able to sit one-on-one with tutors and mentors. And we'll still be able to do a lot of that from a distance and from afar via Skyping and all those wonderful things. But to me, that's making sure these guys are on top of their academics. That's going to be huge now going to strictly online and virtual learning. So, our coaches, that role is just as important now, just to making sure that those young men and our student athletes are handling their business that way as well.
Yeah, it certainly is strange times, and you got to try and figure out what's the most important stuff and all that. But how much, I guess, football work are you actually able to get done?
Sure. I don't want to sit there and it's twofold, right? We don't want our student athletes just sitting on the couch eating potato chips like I would probably be doing. We want them trying to be somewhat active, but also with the understanding of distancing themselves and not putting themselves in harm's way, right? So, we've talked to them about doing some body weight exercises, in their bedroom or in their living room, if they feel comfortable and if they feel healthy, to be able to do some type of movement activities, workouts, if you will. You see strength coaches all over the country, working out in their garages, posting, and but then, be able to maybe talk through some installation. Hey, this was what we would have been doing on spring practice number 2. These route concepts, this coverage. So you try to hone that in, but obviously the most important thing is their well-being, and that's first and foremost. So anytime one of our coaches or anybody on our staff talks to one of our student athletes, it's, hey, how are you? How's your family? And to us, and that will always be the first and most important thing.
Mm-hmm. You talked about the positives of social media, and certainly at this time to have that, to be able to converse one way or another with your players and your fellow coaches, to be able to even FaceTime them, see them, not just talk to them. So there's a lot of advantages. There's also the bad things about social media. And that's with people speculating and throwing out stories and misinformation and things of that nature. And I guess people just get bored and they want to bring up stuff. But yesterday, and I talked about this to start the show. So yesterday, I'm reading, these are national journalists, so this isn't just John Q. Public. The one guy saying, yeah, I spoke to a lot of coaches, and they are really concerned that the 2020 season may not happen. We're talking about college football now. I'm not talking about what's happening in the summer. They're saying, yeah, it may not happen. And then other people saying, no, they talked to a bunch of coaches, and the coaches feel really good that it's going to. Nobody knows. Nobody has any information. So to throw out things, especially negative things, I think it doesn't – and the young players reading this stuff, it doesn't help anybody.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. It's first off, none of us have an idea, right? I mean, yes, there's people higher up that have an understanding of what this is going to look like. Obviously, it needs to be taken seriously, and I think we all, hopefully our country and our world realize that and take the proper precautions and steps moving forward. But you're exactly right. I mean, we don't want things out there in the public that nobody knows or that aren't true. If there's ever a time, let's be more positive and let's have a great outlook on things that, hey, we're going to get through this together. If we stand united as one, in the city of Memphis, right, as an athletic department, as a country, we'll get through this. It's just we got to do it the right way and at all times. And then to sit there and say, hey, the football season may not hurt. Well, that nobody knows that, and so we're going to take a one-day approach to this whole deal and making sure we're handling things the right way every single day. But also want everybody to understand we still are preparing for a 2020 football season. And with that being said, making sure we're doing what we're supposed to academically, socially, living right, doing all those things. To us, that's what's really important. So,
for you who've been doing this for a long time, how bored do you get, or are you able to do enough stuff to keep yourself busy?
Great question. There's no manual, obviously. This is year 22, but I couldn't find the manual to how to deal with a massive pandemic in my coaching books. I've looked all over the library, the chapter 12 when I write my book. But, I don't think as a football coach, much less a head football coach, you're going to find much time for boredom. I mean, to be honest, I'd be lying to say if I haven't started looking at, opponents all the way down the road and just, look, there's constantly things we can improve upon as a staff. I challenged our staff, let's be the best teachers that we can possibly be, find ways, in our install. So when our young men do come back, that they, we're teaching and coaching and have the best possible game plan for them to have success when they get back, make sure we're pouring into them and everything that they're doing, and then also want our coaches to be around their families. Let's do this unique time that, hey, let's try to really I want them to really be good husbands and fathers because that's really important as well. So boredom, no, I've not picked up a video game controller, started playing some Nintendo or anything of that nature. And I don't think we'll get to that point. If anything, they're probably gonna have to tell me to stop running up and down the streets or doing something with that. So, but no, it's all is well. All is well.
Well, Coach, do you have any idea where we stand with the construction of the indoor facility and if the construction company has halted work?
So as of right now, obviously I can't speak for the construction companies. Obviously it's different people that are working on it from different companies, obviously under one umbrella. But as far as I know, and directly of my knowledge, the indoor construction is still going on as we speak, as I'm on the radio right now. And they plan on moving forward. It's a lot of. In fact, I talked to a couple of the workers the other day, and they felt like this was one of the safest places they can be because they do keep their distance from themselves, and they're being, and doing that the responsible way. And they, and I'm sure the companies are making sure. They, it's funny because one of them said, "Hey, if we're not working here, we're going to have to find somewhere else to work because they rely on this work." Again, obviously, their health and their safety is a concern of ours as a university, and if it gets to the point where they need to be home and be forced to stay home, so be it. But the indoor practice facility is coming along nicely. It's going to be so beautiful. Can't wait to get our guys in there.
Yeah, when we had Laird Veach on earlier week, he seemed to indicate that he thought that everything was still on the same timeline as far as that was concerned, which is just great news. And as I said, it's going to be a really nice addition. Hopefully, once everything gets back to normal and you guys are able to get in there, and we can all move along.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so fortunate here at the University of Memphis. We've got some of the best facilities in the entire country, and I mean it's so exciting. I mean, bright future ahead. Obviously, days like today where the outlook may not be as bright, but I want the entire city, all of our fans, everybody know we got bright days ahead. We'll get through this thing, but I mean, just with the indoor, with our new nutrition center, right, our locker room, the Liberty Bowl. Can't wait to see all the fans in the Liberty Bowl here in September. And look, just have a positive outlook, and everything will work out the right way.
One of the other things that has come of this is that pro days are not happening. So those guys who are preparing for the draft, it's certainly a much different thing than what they expected. Have you talked much with those guys, and how are they doing?
Yeah, in fact, last night I was able to text with quite a few of our graduating players that they're preparing for the next level, the next step, and guys like Antonio Gibson. I said, "Hey, do you need anything from me?" He said, "Funny, Coach, I can't find NFL football. So I'm gonna go search the closets in the attic and see if I can find an old NFL football for him, and things like that." But it obviously has taken a unique turn, right? You go from being able to train in these nice gyms and facilities to ours being shut down, to them, not being able to work out wherever they may be across the country. And all of them are, facing the same deals, but they understand the importance of being ready for if and when the NFL does come calling, and hopefully for many of our guys it does. And who knows what that calendar is going to look like, right? Whether OTAs or rookie mini camps. As far as as of this morning, the NFL draft is still going to occur,
right?
And the NFL schedule is still planning on staying as is. Just having some conversations actually this morning as well with some NFL head coaches that were touching base with me on some guys, that everything's still planning on moving forward. Obviously, they're pulled off the road. Like you guys said, the pro days really are delayed, if not just completely canceled. So, we're going to continue to pour into those guys as well, and make sure that we can help them prepare from afar for hopefully a bright future in the NFL.
It really hurts some of the under-the-radar guys not having the pro day, that all of a sudden could have this unbelievable pro day, and all it takes is one scout to, his eyes start zeroing in on that guy, and all of a sudden now he's on the radar. That's where it really hurts. I think for guys like Antonio and Patrick, they know what they're getting there. They have seen them on tape. They've watched them live, whether it be playing in the Senior Bowl or what have you, and then the Combine. So, those guys around the nation, and not just the University of Memphis, are in much better shape than the guys that were kind of on the fringe that really needed the pro day.
Yeah, guys I feel bad. Scotty Dill, Bryce Huff, who should have been at Combine, and Dustin Woodard, who's undersized, who would have done a really nice job. Chris Claybrook's, Jonathan Wilson. We can name so many of our guys. Austin Hall, all those guys that I know would have done a fantastic job at the pro day. It does hurt their chances. But I think, guess what? They're in the same boat with so many other young men. And, I'm waiting for some of these NFL execs to call, and, because the nice thing is I can speak about their character as well.
Right.
We've been so fortunate to have such great young men here, citizens on and off the field that come from a great culture, here, and that will only make the NFL locker room better. So, knock on wood that they get their opportunities as well.
All right, Coach, hang in there. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Y'all be safe. Take care, and to the entire city of Memphis. You guys do things the right way, and we'll get through this.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Ryan Silverfield, head coach of the Memphis Tigers football program. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between, in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Hi, folks. Jeff Jackson, General Manager at Sunrise Chevy, with good news for car and truck buyers. With over 400 new cars and trucks in stock, ready for immediate delivery with discounts as high as $14,000. Immediate financing available with interest rates as low as 0%. A $6 million used car inventory with cars for every budget. A used car lot specializing in cars under $99.95. If you've been turned down at another dealer, see us at Sunrise. We specialize in financing, and Sunrise is the home of the guaranteed credit approval. Find new roads at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch in Collierville.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
We appreciate Ryan Silverfield joining us on the program. Pete Pranica coming up at 11. We still will have 10 in a row today. Later on in the program, Corey Evans, national basketball analyst at Rivals.com, will join us at noon. And we will continue with our best sit-down restaurant chain tournament. We started it yesterday. We're down to the round of 32.
Some text messages here on the First Bank text line. Dove one says, thanks for the show every day, guys. I'm from South Haven, but live in Tucson, Arizona now.
Wow.
And listen every day. We'll certainly appreciate you listening and hope things are well out there in Tucson.
Absolutely.
Somebody else says, so if a golf course closes, what keeps anyone from playing? Just go out, drop a ball, and play. Well, there is still staff there that could run you off. I mean, they're not nobody around. They're still taking care of the golf course. They've got workers out there and all that stuff. So you go out there and try and play, they're going to run you off.
Right. And plus, that's just not nice to do. Like I said to open the show, and you joined me a couple of minutes late, I said yesterday with the great toilet paper hunt of 2020, my son found it, paid for it, was gouged. Gouged. Don't gouge out there. If you're a business owner that's still in operation, don't do that. Just don't do that. Andy Kennedy has reached an agreement in principle to become UAB's next head coach. We didn't expect him to be long for the broadcast booth, although he did a great job. And when UAB opened up, you knew it made perfect sense with Andy Kennedy. And once again, it goes back to what I always have said. As long as you're visible, if you are a coach that loses his or her job and then is in broadcasting, where you are seen, you are not out of sight, out of mind, you get jobs. Look who just got hired, like in the last week. Bryce Drew became an ESPN analyst, Andy Kennedy. Again, on the SEC network. When you're out of sight, out of mind, they forget about you. When you're right there, they remember you. So Andy Kennedy gets the gig at UAB. Wish him well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Andy. Like him, and I think he's a good coach as well. I think he did a really good job at Ole Miss, and it kind of at the end it just got to a point where it was not working anymore. But I think I'm happy to see him back into the coaching ranks. But no, he was awesome on TV. I thought he was great, whether he was either in studio or doing games. Thought he was fantastic. But he wanted to. No doubt he wanted to be back on the sidelines, and getting that opportunity certainly is great for him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. Is Memphis playing UAB? Does that series continuing?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not sure.
I couldn't remember if it did or not.
I'm not sure if they played. Well, they played at UAB this past season. Were they here 2 years ago?
Yeah, but
You think it was more than 2 years?
Well, I think they've. See, I don't know. I think they've played more than the last 2 years. I think
have they consecutively?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I don't know.
Let me look it up during the break.
I don't remember what that contract was, but
remember the exchange with Tom Hart and Andy Kennedy, the Ron Burgundy, Ron Jeremy exchange.
Oh, yeah. No,
that was a classic.
He is awesome, and that was one of his better moments.
That was a great moment. He was funny.
He's
funny. He's funny when he comes on with us.
No, he's just a funny guy to just talk to. Like he's got a great sense of humor. But other huge news out of college basketball, Anthony Edwards has decided to go pro.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
Be Still My Heart.
Shockingly enough, yeah. Apparently, Anthony Edwards, and talking it over with his family and everybody else, has decided that he would like to go pro instead of going back to Georgia for his sophomore season. I mean, not sure why he's doing that. I mean, I don't know if he really is that confident that he'll be a top 3 pick in the draft. But
it's a mistake.
It's a risk.
It's a mistake.
It's a big risk. What if
I'll go that far? It's a mistake.
What if he goes number 4?
Now, what it may do, though, Anthony Edwards coming out here and announcing pretty quickly. We'll see how quickly Precious Achiuwa announces. I think this might open the floodgates for some of the one-and-doners to announce. From the NFL, it's official. Tom Brady, member of the Buccaneers, 2 years, $50 million. So this is the same type of deal that Drew Brees got with the Saints.
Yeah, it's all guaranteed. There's another $9 million in incentives, according to Adam Schefter. Also prohibits any tags or trades. So 2 years. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
We shall see what he's able to do with. So he'll be 44 when that's done?
Yeah, he's 42 right now.
So,
New York Giants signed Colt McCoy.
Paying $25 million to a 44-year-old quarterback.
Colt McCoy got $25. But he signs with the New York Giants to be a backup.
That's too much. That's Colt McCoy at $25. Too much.
The Rams saved $10 million by letting Todd Gurley walk. They couldn't find a trade partner, but the Atlanta Falcons, according to reports, are going to sign Todd Gurley as a free agent. By the way, the owner of the Falcons, Arthur Blank, his foundation pledges $5.4 million to COVID-19 relief efforts. So obviously, money not a concern for Arthur Blank, and he is certainly putting his money where his mouth is to help out the COVID-19 relief efforts. But also bringing in a guy who's still paid very handsomely and has had some injuries, although Todd Gurley, when he was in his – and you want to say that is he certainly on the way down, or can he find that fountain of youth? He's not an old guy numerically, but his body seems to be old. The peak, the Super Bowl, even though he was injured going into the Super Bowl. Can Todd Gurley help out the Falcons, who released Devontae Freeman?
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, he's the Offensive Player of the Year. Signs the big contract, and then he's released. That's doing no favors for the Derrick Henrys of the world.
No, Todd Gurley.
That's the problem with these running backs who are trying to get big money. I mean, 2 years ago, they made him the highest paid running back, and a couple years after that, they have to release him.
Right, but he goes home to Georgia, where he, of course, started at the University of Georgia. Also yesterday, Sean Payton, the head coach of the Saints, testing positive for the coronavirus, COVID-19. One of many sports figures yesterday that tested positive, or at least the news came out about them testing positive, including 3 members of the 76ers organization. 2 Lakers players have tested positive. I'm not sure if they've named those players. One Celtic, it happens to be Marcus Smart. So these guys, and the controversy of them being tested, where there's not a lot of tests available. There's more and more with each passing day, but the athletes, at least the NBA players, and now NFL getting tested for the COVID-19, and Sean Payton again testing positive. When we come back, hour 2 of the program, we'll kick things off with Pete Pranica, the television voice of the Memphis Grizzlies. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
There's a new commissary in town. In Collierville, Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Now, a tournament flashback. In the first weekend's marquee matchup, the Auburn Tigers knocked off the Kansas Jayhawks.
Harper on the drive. Look left for Bryce Brown. Hops to the elbow. Jumper on the way. Got it. Bryce Brown, 25. He is 9 of 12 from the floor. Auburn by 20.
Auburn's 89-75 win sent them to their first Sweet 16 in 16 years. It was a road that took them all the way to the Final Four.
Your home is important. That's why Geico helps make it easy to save on homeowners insurance. Because home is more than just a place. Home is where you build a giant pillow fort in your living room. And when people ask why you have a pillow fort in your living room, you say it's for your dog. And when they ask, well, what kind? You say, chocolate lab. And weave a web of lies that's almost as intricate as the crown molding in Fort Pillow. The Geico Insurance Agency could help protect the pillow-soft fortress you call home. Call Geico and see how easy it is to switch and save on homeowners insurance.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Hi, I'm Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. Five-Ash Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. Five-Ash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
We're caught in a trap.
We sure are, Elvis.
I can't walk out.
Welcome back, everybody. 11 o'clock is the time. Hour 2, Sports 56 Middays on this Friday, March 20th, 2020. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Gabe Kuhn in the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And Sports 56 Middays is delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, the great folks at FedEx. Streamline your e-commerce business so you can focus on growing sales and strengthening customer relationships. Learn more at fedex.com/e-commerce. Want to give a shout out to all our sponsors that have stuck by during these hard times, our listeners as well, and a big thanks to all our guests. We've had a great array of guests this week, and we'll continue to bring you the best that we can. It's hard on everybody, and we really thank all these guests for being able to take some time out of their schedule to be with us, to join us, to talk about this. And that includes our next guest here as we open up hour number 2 with the television voice of your Memphis Grizzlies, Pete Pranica, who you can follow on Twitter at Pete Pranica. He joins us now on Middays. Pete, how you doing?
Well, hanging in there as best as I can under the circumstances, which obviously are extremely difficult for all of us right now. And the hardest part about all this is the unknown and how this is going to progress and what our world and what our society is going to look like on the other side.
Absolutely, you were right in the midst of things with the team having been on the plane, flew out to Portland. You were in Portland. Kind of give us the scenario of how everything came down, the news came down, and the fact that the NBA was closing shop and you were going to be heading back with the team to Memphis.
Well, as we were flying out to Portland, the reports started to filter in on Twitter, and of course the planes have Wi-Fi, so we could stay up to date. And at first I think there was the announcement by Golden State that they were going to play in an empty building, and then we were wondering, okay, well, are we going to be playing in an empty Moda Center when we play the Trailblazers? And I think we were kind of figuring that might be the case, that we might be in an empty building. So we landed with uncertainty. We went to the hotel. Later on, many of the team members went to Nike to do their shopping. I stayed back, and word was starting to filter in, and I was following everything on Twitter, and I was walking around Portland, going to my favorite chocolatier, Moonstruck Chocolate, and all of a sudden my phone buzzes, and we have a group text with all the announcers and production people, and somebody had put up there the Shams tweet that the NBA was suspending operations, and immediately one of our group, who I will not name, buzzed back, well, Shams has just been hacked. This is impossible. And then Woj follows up with a Woj bomb that, the league has suspended operations. And so, you're sitting there, or standing there in the streets of Portland, shocked as this happens. And, I went back to the hotel, had dinner. The waiter, had heard the news, and the particular hotel that we use in Portland, 90% of the NBA teams stay there. Mm-hmm. So he was fearing for what their business was going to look like. And, and then obviously you had the situation with Rudy Gobert and Oklahoma City, and you're following that on Twitter, and, just all the weirdness. And then the Courtney Kirkland they felt had been exposed, and so it was, and somebody said the word surreal has been overused, but I can't think of another word to really describe that night and what you were feeling. And we were just standing by waiting for Delta to bring us another plane that we could get back to Memphis. And so it was very, very, very strange.
There was the talk that you guys had used that plane that Utah had used. Did you guys have to do anything special because of that?
Well, what had happened was, Delta had enacted, as soon as, this had been talked about as being an issue, was that Delta was wiping down every surface with disinfectant, even more so than they normally would. And we were provided with antibacterial wipes that we could wipe down any surface that we wanted to. So, to the best that you could protect yourself under those circumstances, Delta had enacted different procedures. The team had urged us to, not go outside for meals, to use, if, the players get team-provided meals, they were urging the players to only eat the team-provided meals from the hotel. We were urged to eat in the hotel and not go to outside food purveyors. And so we were warned and told, like, look, don't use the glasses in the hotel because you don't know where those glasses have been, I guess. So, it was, a lot of it was common sense, and we weren't, we were in the hotel overnight, and by noon the next day we were on the bus getting to the airport and getting back to Memphis.
What do you think about what Rudy Gobert did? I mean, since then he has apologized, he's given money. He's talked about what he did being, just selfish and foolish. But when you heard of and then saw the video of what he did, and he ends up testing positive, what were your initial reactions, Pete?
I thought it was a dumb move on his part, and I know people have interpreted that he was mocking, the rules, because what you forget, the game before the Orlando game, I get to the arena and all of a sudden our producer says, well, it's just come down from the NBA that you have to be 6 feet away from Taylor Jenkins when you do the interview.
Right.
And
right.
you got to use a boom mic and all this. And some people are like, okay, is this for real? And I think Rudy, I don't know if he was trying to say he was feeling solidarity with the reporters or he was trying to make light of the situation. It was poor judgment on his part, whatever he was trying to do. And only he knows. It was just poor judgment on his part. I would chalk it up to extremely poor judgment on his part.
Pete, this is all guesswork. Nobody knows, so it's all guessing. But what's your, I guess, confidence level that this season will be completed in some way?
That is the big unknown. I mean, you get varying reports. You have one report saying that this pandemic will last for 18 months. You have, Adam Silver saying that, well, we met with the CDC and we think potentially by July, maybe we're playing in empty buildings or playing in team practice facilities. At this point, I think it's too early to tell. Now, as you see, all of California is on lockdown, and as other states enact other measures to keep people in place so that they can't infect other people, the success of that effort, I think, will determine whether or not we actually do get to resume this season, or if it's just going to be a wash, and we'll see you in the fall of 2020.
Do you think, in your opinion, it's better to, if you can get it done, complete this season if it affects the schedule for next year, or do you just forget about this season because it could affect next year's schedule, if you know what I mean?
Well, and then you also have Steve Koonin, the owner of the Atlanta Hawks, saying, well, why don't we just go to a Christmas to August NBA schedule anyway?
Right, yeah. Right.
And avoid football. So right now I would imagine that you have Adam Silver and the NBA front office in conference calls with owners and general managers and saying, what do we want to do here? And does this give us an opportunity to change the NBA calendar? My imagining is that in an ideal world, which, newsflash, we're not in an ideal world, you would try to play some more regular season games, try to recover some of the 20 or so games that would be lost. Could you play a few regular season games and then start the playoffs after, say, maybe 5 regular season games and have an abbreviated regular season? Because if you stop the season and say you start playoffs right now, I mean, the quality of play is going to be pretty rusty. If you were able to get some regular season games there, you would still have, a little bit of a playoff race in the West. And there's some other areas that would be up for seeding or reseeding. You could actually get kind of a run up, almost like a preseason, before you jump into the playoffs. And then if you get to the playoffs, then I think you may see a return to the mini series or a best of 5 series in order to truncate the schedule, that you could get the season and the championship, the champion crowned in relatively short order, so that it doesn't impact, what happens then next year. I mean, are you playing summer league in September, and then going right into training camp? I mean, the mind just spins with all the possibilities.
So our buddy Rob Fisher's out there doing walk-off interviews with his daughter after her various athletic feats. What are you doing to waste your time? Are you calling play-by-play of anything you can find?
No, I haven't done that yet. I've spent a good portion of the last week up at my mother's house in Wisconsin. I think a lot of people know my mother passed away in mid-February.
Our condolences, Pete.
Thank you. And so just trying to prepare the house for sale. It was the only house that we had ever known. And so you're talking about, 50 plus years of memories and memorabilia. Wow. And so there's a lot to be done there, a lot of logistical things. So I went up there just to try to, before the pandemic really, really got bad and we ended up all being locked up in our homes, wanted to get something accomplished there because, again, everything is the great unknown as far as when we'll restart the season, if we restart the season.
All right, final thing before we let you go. I know, and Adam Silver is a great leader. I think everybody that's involved in the NBA should be happy to have a commissioner like Adam Silver. He's out in front. He's talking about things, even though right now it's all speculation. But he talked about the possibility of a diversion game because people are getting antsy. They want to watch sports. They want to watch competition. And I thought about it at first, Pete, and I thought this is a cool thing. This is smart. Now I'm not so sure if that's a smart thing to do because I don't know how logistically you do that, putting players together on a court, and then I don't know how long you have to keep them away from everybody else and other people that would have to be involved, including officials and things of that nature. Do you like that idea?
I like the concept. I really do, because I think we all could use a little diversion. I think we could all use a little good news, and that would certainly qualify. But the logistics of it, how would you pick the players? Would they be volunteers? You say, look, I'll be willing to go, and you hold it in somebody's practice facility that has been locked down and, is virus-free. I mean, the logistical considerations to me would be the biggest thing. So Great concept. How exactly you pull it off, you'd really, really have to think it through.
He is the television voice of the Memphis Grizzlies. He is Pete Pranica. You can follow him on Twitter at Pete Pranica, and hopefully before too long we'll be able to hear his velvet tones once again calling a game for the Memphis Grizzlies in what has been a spectacular year to this point. Pete, as always, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Take care.
This from the NBA. The Mavericks have announced that Mark Cuban, Luka Doncic, and Dwight Powell donating $500,000 to the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center and Parkland Hospital to support child care for healthcare workers on the front lines. So Mark Cuban has been very generous, and he has done a great job of kind of being a guy out there in the forefront of trying to help out those who need the help, from stadium workers to now these healthcare workers who, they're out there in the front lines battling this each and every day, and certainly we send our kudos and everything to them, and kudos to the Mavericks and Cuban and Doncic and Powell for stepping up and helping those folks as well.
Well, my wife, she's part of that. She's over at Le Bonheur Children's Research Hospital. Of course, all the folks at Le Bonheur and at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, but all the people in the medical field, and hopefully the people that are trying to find a cure for this, to find an antidote, if you will, comes a lot sooner, a lot quicker than it normally does, because usually these things take a while. Maybe it's a miracle and something can be done very, very quickly, but we certainly salute all the people, absolutely all the people in the medical field.
The state of New York today, apparently, the governor has issued basically any non-essential work, you are not allowed to go to work. All employers must have their people working from home. You're not allowed to go to work unless it is essential service. Now, I don't know what all, obviously medical is in the essential. I don't know what all qualifies as essential stuff, but the state of New York is basically now on a complete shutdown. You can think about the number of people that is that are on a complete shutdown.
Well, think about when we always talk about, people are like, well, how's everything going? Little struggles in life, but at least I got my health, right? You always hear, at least I got my health. And people, that's the most important thing. And this is the greatest example you can have, that people are sacrificing having to lay off people because they have to close down their business. Their business may not survive, but they have to do it if we are to close in on this pandemic that's going around the world and killing people. So the health, the welfare of people around the world is the most important thing. Everything else is secondary. And of course, sports and sports viewing is way down. We understand it's very low on the totem pole. That's what we do for the most part on this show, is talk about sports. But in this time of need, we certainly want to pass along information that's pertinent to you and your lives, while also trying to be entertaining as much as we can with great guests, but also be very, very informative. But that's a perfect example. This is the ultimate example of health. That's what matters really the most in this world, is the health and welfare, the well-being of people.
Yeah, and the thing, listen, there is, I'm not sure will be any industry of any sort that is not affected by this, majorly affected by this, from people losing jobs to people going out of businesses that can't survive this. I mean, there's just, it's every level of everything. I mean, it's hard to think of anything that is not being affected greatly by this, and it sucks. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's going to be so many people losing jobs, or at the very least, temporarily out of work, and how temporary that is, we don't know. that is just you feel for everybody. But yeah, I mean, in the end, it's all done in the idea of trying to keep as many people healthy as possible. So it's while it sucks that people are losing their income, it's also it's done in the idea of like, hey, health is important.
Well, the quicker
and again, and if we don't do these things and it spreads just uncontrollably, then we put our health system into a bind that it just can't do it. It can't keep up.
And the quicker that we can listen to the experts and do what they ask us to do, the quicker we can get this thing over with and get back to your employment. And even if you lose a job, another job, because industries will continue to open up, whatever it may be. Sure, there's going to be companies that are affected, that may go out of business. In fact, will probably go out of business. But there are many that will spring up. There are many that will survive this, and people will have those jobs. But right now, it is hurting financially for everybody. I mean, all of us, absolutely all of us. But again, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
John texts in. He says, my sister works for the Tennessee Department of Commerce. They're working from home. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places that have already gone to that. I mean, if anything that you know, where it certainly is where you can easily do your job from home, then it makes sense. I mean, there's just no reason to bring workers together into a workplace if it can be done in an isolated setting and do this.
But they make it sound like, you're right. It's limited, though. There's not a lot of people that can just simply go home and do their work from home. My daughter is a social worker, and she can't do it from home. Her husband's an electrician. He can't do it from home. So they're hurting right now.
It's and the good thing is that this is in a time of technology where a lot more people can work from home than they've ever been able to.
A lot more, but not everybody's able. It's just this easy switch on and off. Hey, just go home and work. Well,
somebody texts in, says, I'm a mail carrier. Don't know what may happen with us. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. You're talking about mail being delivered. That's stuff that's being touched by somebody, and then somebody else comes out and grabs it at their home. I don't know what could possibly happen if it gets really bad with mail delivery.
I don't mean to be. I'm not making light of this thing, but through rain, sleet, and snow, the old motto. Well, we never faced COVID-19, so whoever the texter was, absolutely about the. How about this? This is a scary thing too. I thought about the other day. What about prisons? What happens if there's an outbreak? I mean, you can't just isolate everybody all the time. Like they got to be in their cell all the time. I mean, that's inhumane. But when you gather together, there's way more than 50 people and all that. And then what happens? You can just release prisoners. And I mean, that's what civil unrest worries me a little bit too. People are going to be so desperate the longer this goes to be able to get money to buy. I would imagine, I hope that supermarkets will remain open. Because if not, I don't know where you're getting everything from, your food to live by, but that there could be that type of civil unrest of people trying to find a way to get money to be able to buy products. So, it's scary. I don't want to go down that path. I want to try to liven things up. When we come back from the timeout, we'll liven things up as we get back to our big tournament from yesterday that we started, the best sit-down restaurant chain, doing it like the NCAA tournament.
A couple of other texts here. Somebody says, I think some companies could come out better on the back end because of this, because they're going to realize there are a lot of positions that can be done from home, and they'll save a lot of money in overhead. I mean, there may be some things where some companies realize some stuff that may or may not be necessary, but a lot of those companies will have a long time digging out for this.
Right, but if people are at home doing the work, they're still paying those employees. The real worry is the robots. So watch out for the robots.
But they could. I mean, it's the idea that they could save on office space down the road that they realize, oh, actually, we don't even need this office space.
Yeah, I would imagine things like logistics and things like that.
Somebody else is working in the service industry, picking up and delivering. It would be nice to be able to sanitize, but blank hoarded all of it. I won't use the word they used.
Yeah.
I don't know where you can find. I don't know if there's a good place to find stuff right now for, whether it be wipes, whether it be hand sanitizer, whatever. I don't know if there's any good place. And I guess you might just have to find out when shipments come into the stores and make sure you're there that day.
That's the worry, too, that you want to make sure that the food industry, that the people that are preparing your food have, the gloves and masks and sanitizer and things like that to make your food because you worry about that. But also, when people are delivering your food or curb pickup, tip like you would tip sitting down at a diner, at a restaurant, please. I normally give 20%. I think the going rate is at least 16, 18%. But make sure you really dig down deep and help these people out. So even if it's a takeout, you would normally throw maybe a few dollars their way. If you can, try to make it like you would be sitting down in the restaurant eating.
Somebody else says the lawn spray business is still going strong. Yeah, theoretically, that's not a thing affected, except for the fact that when people don't have money, they have to start cutting services, and suddenly they don't need the lawn care companies doesn't seem that important when you don't have the money to pay for certain things.
Right.
So it will be affected. Any of this stuff becomes affected because your clients don't have the money to pay for it anymore.
So I made a good move about 5 years ago. I bought $100,000 in Charmin stock, and man, that thing is it's worth so much right now. Even though Wall Street's gone down, the Dow's gone down. Charmin. Toilet paper. It's like freaking gold, man. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how many places didn't have it yesterday, but we were able to get it, although got gouged. But we got it. I don't have to worry about it for a while as far as that is concerned. Oh, by the way, the Scripps National Spelling Bee, off for this year. That is some entertainment right there. If you haven't seen the Scripps National Spelling Bee. All right, speaking of entertainment, when we come back, try to brighten your day a little bit. We've had fun with this for a day. We're going to continue it today. The best sit-down restaurant chain tournament. We're down to the round of 32. That's coming your way next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hertz. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting Company. The coronavirus situation is causing a lot of cancellation of events, schools, concerts, sporting events, and all kind of social gatherings. It's called social distancing. But you do not have to be distant mentally from everyone in the community because Flynn Broadcasting is with you. We love you. We want to make sure that you are connected and protected from the coronavirus. So keep listening to this Flynn Broadcasting station. We'll keep you informed, we'll keep you in touch, and we'll keep you connected to your friends. So as soon as this situation is over, we can go back to our normal living. I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting Company saying we love our community, we love you as individuals, and we are committed to your well-being.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Let's do it.
Day 2 would be underway right now.
The great NCAA college basketball would be open. The tune.
About 10 minutes into the first game of day number 2 of the NCAA basketball tournament. Never got an update from our texter from yesterday. I hope Memphis went on to win that game. They were up 33-8, according to our texter early yesterday. Apparently played the first game of the day yesterday.
They had a big lead.
They were up as a 12 seed. They had a 33-8 advantage early on in that game. I never got a final score update from our texter. I hope the Tigers were able to hold on to that one in advance. I wonder who they play in the next round.
No idea. Maybe the texter will update us. But we started this yesterday, and we're going to do several of these in the coming weeks, have a little fun with it again, get away from the seriousness of everything that's happening around the world. It's the best sit-down restaurant chain tournament. Now, technically, you can go sit down, not now, but you can normally technically go into McDonald's.
There's a bit of irony
Wendy's.
in us doing this.
I know. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? But they don't include the fast food sit-downs. It's the others, the O'Charlie's and the Chili's of the world.
Basically places where a waiter or waitress waits on you and brings you your food.
Exactly. So it's the best sit-down restaurant chain tournament. We are down to the round of 32. And then, Gabe, once again, when we get down to is it the Elite Eight or Final Four?
When we get to the Elite Eight, we're going to open it up. So as soon as we're done, we're going to today do the round of 32 and the Sweet 16. The Elite Eight hits, we're going to let everybody vote. And then on Monday, we will narrow it down to a champion that will be voted on by the listeners.
Okay, sounds good. All right, you want to pick it up where we left off yesterday?
Let's do it.
All right.
Chili's region, back to the Chili's region, round of 32. 1 seed versus the 9 seed. Chili's versus CC's. What do you got?
This is tough. By the way, I don't know if this is the same text from yesterday, but somebody just texted in. Apparently the Tigers had 27 turnovers, ended up losing by 2.
Oh, ouch.
Terrible blow. They blew a lead with turnovers again. Boy, this is a difficult one. I like the CC's buffet, but Chili's of the happy hour, the 2-for-1s, is always a special thing at Chili's. I love Chili's little the chicken crispers or whatever. Very good. Their boneless buffalo wings good.
The honey ones, those are the best flavor.
They do the little sampler platter thing where you get like the boneless wings, you get cheese sticks, nachos, and what's the other? I think maybe you get 3 things.
Throw a little celery in there.
But you clearly have you love CC's.
I
can tell.
I like buffets. Like pizza buffets are a good thing. Like that many options.
Chili's has an underrated hamburger. I mean, a really good burger too. I'm going Chili's.
I'm gonna go. I like this texter. The texter says Chili's wins because they serve alcohol. I'm gonna go with that.
Yep, Chili's it is.
Chili's moves on the 1 seed.
Yep.
Hopefully it won't be chalk.
That was a close second round scare. Like to me. That was a scare for the 1 seed. Almost had a 1 seed go down.
It was Chili's is a powerhouse in this region.
The bracket's
named
after it. When you get the bracket named after you, that's strong.
Now we have a 4 seed versus a 12 seed. A very strong 12 seed, I must say. This is Yard House is the 4 seed. Fuddruckers 12 seed.
This is pretty easy for me.
I'm going Fuddruckers.
Yeah. I do like Yard House, which I said yesterday I was introduced to in Miami. I had never been to a Yard House before, and it's good. But I'm a big Fuddruckers guy. I like those
it's always
burgers
in the
put your own
casinos.
toppings on there.
You get done gambling, you go get some Fuddruckers.
But I think the last Fuddruckers I ate at, it was actually in the Horseshoe.
I'm telling you, I don't know if they probably have a contract with.
But you're going opposite of what you just said because they don't have the alcohol in Fuddruckers.
I know, but Fuddruckers is powerful enough without the alcohol.
I don't think you go to Fuddruckers for the drinks. Yeah.
And again,
drinks.
if it's in a casino, I can get the alcohol anyway.
Right, that's true.
This next one, 6 seed versus the 3 seed. Fleming's 6 seed, Red Lobster 3 seed.
You got those little cheese. What do they call them at Red Lobster? The cheese
muffins.
Cheese muffins or whatever. Biscuits. Yeah, they're good.
I don't know what. It's like chives and cheese. And
Wait, this is tough because we got steak versus lobster. Those are supposed to go together. They're supposed to be steak and lobster.
We also
well, at Fleming's you can get the surf and turf. See, so like Fleming's offers some of what Red Lobster offers.
But here's the other thing we haven't even brought into the equation in day 2 of this tournament: the price. You're talking Fleming's, expensive but good. Red Lobster, cheap, fairly cheap.
You didn't say good for Red Lobster. Any reason for that?
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
not like I'm in Maine eating a lobster.
I've got to go with Fleming's. I can't take Red Lobster over
Yeah,
Fleming's.
I'm going Fleming's as well.
I would have taken Red Lobster.
Oh,
but
look at you.
I agree to a certain extent. Price does come into it.
It does.
Yeah,
I'm giving you crap, but I do agree.
Okay.
And Red Lobster is
it's good bang for your buck.
It absolutely is. Now, again, easy one for me. 10 seed Papado, 2 seed P.F. Chang's.
This is very simple for me because I do not eat at P.F. Chang's. I don't eat Chinese food, and I actually like Papado a lot. So this, to me, is very simple.
I'm going P.F. I love P.F. Chang's.
Putting the pressure on me. P.F. Chang's is okay. It's okay. I'm going upset here. Papado.
Oh.
Papado, moving on.
Oh.
Good call. We got P.F. Chang's out of
here. So you think P.F. Chang's is just a weak 2 seed then?
Yes.
I think it's
that's just a
overly
personal
seeded
thing
there.
I've got. I mean,
overseeded.
I wouldn't I can't rightly judge them. I just have a personal thing against their style.
I mean, I think there's better Chinese food in this city here in Memphis than P.F. Chang's, but P.F. Chang's is okay.
Somebody by the way said Fleming's all day, not even close in that battle with
Fleming's is
Red
really
Lobster.
good, really good.
And a couple of people chiming in with those cheddar biscuits from Red Lobster.
Cheddar biscuits, yeah, cheddar biscuits.
I'm not saying it's not good, but
no, I know.
Money, the money thing. I'm a young guy.
Well, you got to eat. You're a big guy too, so you're going to eat a lot. So that's going to even be more money
on a
for
budget.
You.
Unlimited biscuits. Just keep them coming.
you get that 48-ounce porterhouse or whatever. Like you're going to be out some money.
Yeah, no doubt. Into the Wine and Dine region, the number 1 seed Capitol Grill versus the 9 seed Bob Evans. I still don't know why Bob Evans is in the Wine and Dine region, but
well, if you're taking cost into consideration, then I mean that certainly would apply to Capitol Grill in any battle.
Have you ever been Bob Evans? All the little breakfast spots, diner style spots, not my favorite.
I'm not a
because we have IHOP in this, we have Perkins in this,
I'm not
we
a big
have
Bob Evans
Waffle
guy.
House.
Bob Evans is fine. Who did Bob Evans beat in the first round?
Carrabba's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way. They got a great first round matchup and were able to advance. This is a mismatch here.
Yeah, Bob Evans is okay, but come on. I mean, Capitol Grill. The price thing we're talking about again here, Gabe. But I go Capitol Grill.
I go Capitol Grill as well. Moving on. Now we have the 12 versus 13. We had two upsets in the first round.
Bracket.
Oh wow, 12 versus
13. 13 seed Buca de Beppo. Underseeded.
Yes.
Incredibly underseeded. 12 seed Twin Peaks.
Oh. Whew. Tough matchup.
Family style versus not so family style.
Yeah, but the portions are still large.
Yeah, these are two definitely. These are not the same. Big fan of both. This is a really good you don't often get a good match. 12-13 matchups in the second round can often be disappointing. You're like, wow, how did this happen? This to me, very strong matchup in the second round for a 12 versus a 13.
Honestly, the Wine and Dine region has some really good matchups. Round of 32 matchups.
I love me some Twin Peaks, but I've got to go Buca de Beppo.
Break the tie, Greg. I'm going Twin Peaks.
I'm going Buca.
Buca moves on.
Got to have a little Italian into this thing.
That might actually be Capitol Grill's first challenge.
Oh,
Sweet 16.
That'll be a big challenge.
We'll get to it. Now this next one, 11 seed Red Robin versus the 3 seed B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Not as easy as you would think right on the off the bat here. B-Dubs so popular. Red Robin.
Bottomless fries. That's the one thing. That's the redeeming thing about Red Robin. And they have seasoning to it for it.
A lot of different styles of hamburgers. A lot of different. The one with the egg on it. I'm with Eli. I love that one. I forget what it's called.
The Royal Red Robin, baby.
Royal Red Robin. I haven't had Red Robin in a while.
I've never had any other burger. Literally, the first time I went into Red Robin, I had never had an egg on my burger before. I saw that. I was like, you know what? That sounds good. Let me try that.
Red Robin.
I've never ordered another burger there, and since then I've put eggs on my burgers. Like it's like I don't know how I missed out on that the previous. That's probably been about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I went like over 35 years of my life never putting an egg on my burger like an idiot.
You got the sports everywhere at B-Dubs on the, of course, not now, but again, might be some Pakistani and cricket thing going on right now. I would go.
I know which way I'm going here, but I'm going to let you guys go and see if I need to.
All right. Well,
Gabe, what are you doing?
It's hard for me,
to say
being
no to wings.
who I am, to say no to wings. B-Dubs gets the nod every day.
I knew that's where you were going. I was like, there's no way he's going away from wings.
Okay, I'll make it tough on Eli. I'm going to go Red Robin.
It's not tough for me. I know which way I'm going. So
which way?
I'm going Red Robin. The Royal Red Robin wins out.
I am just on the wrong side of history today.
Love me that Royal Red Robin, man.
Wow, B-Dubs out early in this tournament.
Last matchup here in the Wine and Dine region. Ruby Tuesday, the 10 seed versus the 2 seed Olive Garden.
Olive Garden. Easy, run away. Over at halftime.
Oh, I don't know, guys. I guess I am voting completely opposite of you guys today. Olive Garden has never really done it fully.
The lunch.
It's
cool.
The lunch special.
It's the soup and salads. Unlimited soup and salad for like $6.99. It's one of the great deals out there.
You would eat so much of that.
Ruby Tuesday has one of the best chain burgers in the game. I'm a big burger
we got
guy.
20 burger places on here. I'm still.
Yeah, but you just passed on the burger at Red Robin.
Olive Garden, man. Come on.
B-Dubs technically has burgers, too.
They do.
But it's like wings versus burger. Then you put me in a dilemma.
When you're there, you're family. Isn't that Olive Garden?
Yeah, that is
all right.
their thing.
That lunch special is one of the great things out there. I got to go with my boys at Olive Garden.
This is going to be a interesting. I can't imagine because Cheesecake Factory. We're in the large menu region. 1 seed Cheesecake Factory, 8 seed Denny's.
Well, you know, if you know which way I'm going, because I told you yesterday, I voted against Cheesecake Factory in round 1. I took the 16. I don't remember who it was.
Hard Rock Cafe.
I took Hard Rock.
I think this is going to turn out to be the same thing that the last 4 or 5 have gone. Gabe, you're going to be on the opposite end of this thing because I'm with this guy.
I'm going Grand Slam. I'm hitting the Grand Slam.
Hey, I'm going
Denny's too.
I'm going Denny's as well.
Right,
okay,
I'm hitting the Grand Slam. Baby.
Denny's, big one.
Moon's over Miami rules.
That may lead off Sports Center.
I think most people have like an affinity to just do not appreciate what Cheesecake Factory does. Like the food, a little overpriced. It's okay, but for what you're paying, you expect a lot more. I
love breakfast food.
Me too. Right. Me too. Next round, here we got the 4 seed Benihana and the 5 seed Logan's Roadhouse.
I'm going to go Benihana. The show, love it, love the food. I'm going to go Benihana.
Again, Volcano, he seems like the Onion Volcano type of guy.
That's what just seemed like an onion. Could we end up with Onion Volcano versus Bloomin' Onion? Are they in the same bracket? Are they in the same? Is that a possible matchup?
They could meet in the Final Four.
Onion Volcano.
Yeah, they are. They could meet in the Elite Eight, is what it looks like.
Okay. This is difficult because I'm a big Roadhouse guy, like the various Roadhouses,
right?
But I do like Benihana. I like Benny. I think it's a fun thing and it's good. I'll go Benihana.
I'm going Benihana.
Moving on. How about that?
Benihana.
I still haven't been to the Benihana here. Remember it burned down and build it again? I still haven't been to it.
Right over there.
Pre-burn and after.
Right off of Poplar, right?
It's on.
Somebody texted says, I missed yesterday, but how in the hell did you guys put Cheesecake Factory past Hard Rock Cafe? That's those two guys. I had Hard Rock in that matchup. I had the 16 versus The one. These
Again,
two guys,
cheesecake.
These two guys took
Cheesecake.
Very hard.
Cheesecake.
Very hard for a 16 to beat a 1.
Somebody asked if TGF Fridays made the tournament.
Yes.
Yeah. Did they advance?
I think they advanced.
Are we getting to them still?
Hold
or did they
up
lose
here.
in the
Hold
first
up.
round?
I think they lost in the first round.
Did they? I voted for them because I used to work at TGI Fridays.
Yeah, I think they lost in the first round.
Yeah, but they were in the tournament.
Yeah, they were in it.
Okay.
Now,
what's next?
Moving on here, we have an interesting matchup: 6-seed Cracker Barrel versus the 14-seed Round Table Pizza. You took my advice yesterday on Round Table, Greg. What do you think today?
No, I can't take your advice today. Cracker Barrel. What do you think?
You're going Round Table, obviously.
No, I'm going Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
No doubt, not even a question. Without question, Cracker Barrel is moving on.
I do want to try if I ever get the opportunity Round Table because he talks so highly of that.
I thought maybe we were just in a situation where pizza or wings, you were going that way. I didn't know that you would go to the breakfast food.
Breakfast food, when it's good breakfast food, I can. It'll beat the pizza or wings.
Okay.
There's just something about the little shop there where you can buy a little.
Where you can buy
stupid stuff that you don't need. Like there's something about that.
Yeah, there's something about buying that little piece of candy from the the like 70s replica candy for $6. There's always something nice about that.
Last matchup in the large menu region: the Primanti brothers, 10-seed, versus the 2-seed Outback Steakhouse.
Okay,
walk in the park for me, Outback.
No question.
Look, and I love Primanti brothers. I told you could put the French fries on the actual sandwich. It is great, but Outback. Sorry, Outback has to advance.
Absolutely.
No question.
I'm a big fan of the brown bread, too.
So am I.
Oh, yes.
The bread with the sweet little butter they put on there?
Yeah.
They have a good salad, too.
Tangy tomato dressing.
They give you a big salad. Like I'm all about the Outback.
Speaking of cinnamon butter, or sweet butter, we're in the cinnamon butter region now.
Okay.
We have the 1-seed Texas Roadhouse versus the 8-seed Hooters.
Oh. Man, tough matchup.
This could be the toughest matchup we've had so far today.
Didn't even realize this one was coming.
Off top, Hooters, no doubt.
Eli?
Man, somebody just coming hard against Cracker Barrel. Whew.
Probably a bad experience.
Most overrated crap ever. So they would eat at the loser of the play-in game before they ate Cracker Barrel.
We'd have to come up with who would be in the play-in game.
I don't know who the play-in game was.
Play-in game would be Huddle House versus.
Boy, this is tough. I'm gonna lean towards Hooters.
I'll go Hooters.
Hooters it is.
I hate
Hooters into the
to
Sweet
see
16.
I feel for the folks there with the old Roadhouse.
Are we done?
Tough. Nope, not yet.
Okay,
not yet. We have 4-seed Bonefish Grill, Greg, versus the 12-seed Dave & Buster's.
Dave & Buster's.
Dave & Buster's. I'm a Dave & Buster's. Going Dave & Buster's.
Okay, Dave & Buster's it is. You like the food there?
At Dave & Buster's?
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
I'm saying it's like
All right.
top-notch cuisine, but it's fine. I mean, cold beers, good food, play the games.
Yeah, like the games. It's fun to be able to do
the
a little bit
games
of
is the
everything.
redeeming part. Let's be real.
You can go play games.
If they didn't have the games, what would the food be for you?
Oh no, like then with the food.
The combination.
The food isn't
would
enough
defeat
by
it.
itself, but
Yeah.
the fact that I got TVs, I can drink, I can eat, then I can go play games. It's got a little bit of everything.
Again,
for me.
it's not so much the Bonefish food. It's everything else that happened to me.
If you've got if you're watching the kids, you want to go watch the games, have a couple beers, you can take them in there. Hey, go play games. I'm over here. I'm busy.
Exactly.
It's a babysitter /
restaurant.
Or I can play the games myself.
Yeah.
Way too many levels of fun there.
Absolutely.
Now, we have the 11-seed O'Charlie's versus the 3-seed IHOP.
So I already advanced Denny's. Do I want IHOP in there as well? O'Charlie still
It's
has
about
those
the matchup.
rolls.
It's
They
about
still
the
have those
matchup.
rolls. I know. It's about the matchup. IHOP as a kid, man, they had the little football helmets you would get, the little NFL helmets.
Who is IHOP against who?
O'Charlie's.
IHOP hurt themselves when they went to what was it? IHOB or something, the International House of Burgers or something. They tried to change the name, but it was all a gimmick.
I'll tell you right now, I would never eat a burger at IHOP.
I know. It's all about
I don't think
breakfast.
you would see me there past 11 a.m.
Although I don't eat pancakes at IHOP.
Yeah.
I'm going O'Charlie's.
Do I get like a short stack at best.
I'm going O'Charlie's.
I'm going IHOP.
I'm going IHOP.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
I
could have sworn you were going O'Charlie's.
No, I'm going IHOP.
All right. Last one of the round of 32. And this is a matchup, I think. It depends what you feel about Waffle House. But Waffle House, the 2 seed versus the 7 seed Wingstop.
Ooh.
Waffle House versus Wingstop?
Yep.
Wingstop.
See, it's interesting because there's a lot of breakfast joints have advanced. We've eliminated a couple of wing joints.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be equal, like Gabe just said to me. It's all about the matchup.
Which way are you going?
We've been over this before. If I have wings in front of my face, there's no way I'm turning them down. Wingstop all day,
so my vote
every
doesn't
day.
matter then.
Yeah.
I was gonna go Waffle House. I would have went the way of Waffle House if you guys had tied.
I'm disappointed though because that was a close matchup right there.
Yeah, that was a really tough one. But I would lean slightly towards Waffle House.
But when Wingstop wins, moves on. Is our Sweet 16 set?
Sweet 16
All
is
right,
set.
so we're doing the Sweet 16 when we come back, right? All right, we'll do that. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Tiger Hoops fans have something extra to look forward to this coming March. Not only is it tournament time, but it's the opening of the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum.
After Finch's two-pointer, Ronnie Robinson sank the shot that once again brought the two teams into a tie.
Come to the Pink Palace Museum this March and experience 100-plus years of Tiger men's and women's basketball, from their beginnings as the West Tennessee State Normal School to the present.
The Tigers are very much alive.
Don't miss the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum, opening March 7th.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today, shop our aggressive lease and finance options now, luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7, visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Yeah, so Aiden's coffee spot is really undope. They asked what they can get me, and I'm like, the code to the bathroom. Stop trying to sell me something.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Also, the Wi-Fi password was too hard to spell, and I can, totally spell stuff.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
They didn't have any cups out for the free cream, so I just drank it out of the pitcher.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
Our great Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Let's do it.
So, a couple of people are not happy with our your guys' Waffle House decision. Somebody says Waffle House should have advanced. IHOP should not have. Another one says y'all are sleeping on Waffle House. I'm not.
I am not. I was devastated that I had to vote him out.
When I'm at Waffle House, normally I should be sleeping, but I'm not sleeping on Waffle House, nor have I ever slept in a Waffle House. I've come close, but I've never slept in a Waffle House. But I was going Waffle House.
Corey Evans is going to join us at noon. He's the national basketball analyst at Rivals.com. We will play 10 in a row. That'll be coming up at 12:30, but now we continue. We are down to the Sweet 16 in the best sit-down restaurant chain tournament.
Chili's region. Chili's, 1 seed versus Fuddruckers, the 12 seed. That was getting a little tough.
Oh, man. Could Fuddruckers as a 12 seed make this type of run?
I mean, we're limiting ourselves. It's just hamburgers, but you got the Fixin' Bar. I love Fuddruckers. I absolutely love it. There's just too many options at Chili's. I can't spring the upset here. I'm going with the 1 seed.
The happy hour all the time going to win out. I'm going to go with Chili's.
Strong 1 seed. Strongest 1 seed in the tournament.
So Chili's moves on to the Elite Eight.
They sure do.
Next,
we have Fleming's, which is the 6 seed, versus Papado, the 10 seed.
Papado's had a good run, but I think it ends here. Fleming's.
I'm going the other way. I'm taking the 10 seed.
You going Papado?
I'm going Papado.
I'm going Papado as well. Papado advances.
There we go. Come on, Papado.
There we go.
Okay.
Now on to the Wine and Dine region. We have the 1 seed Capital Grill versus the 13 seed Buca de Beppo. I'm going to go real quick. Buca de Beppo.
Man, this is tough. Had a great anniversary dinner one time at Capitol Grill here in Memphis. It was fantastic. Ate at a Capitol Grill in the Detroit area. Really, really good food. Now, Buca is pretty cheap. I don't want to say cheap, but it's, pretty inexpensive. Really good food. I'm going Buca. We're moving that on.
Wow.
That's a good decision.
13
The last 2 days
seed.
have made me really miss Buca de Beppo. I really want Buca de Beppo. Of all these ones we've talked about, that's the one that, I was thinking last night, I was like, gosh, I wish we had a Buca de Beppo here. I'd really like to go to Buca de Beppo.
Like that. Okay, so
We
we
now
have
have
a
a
13 over a 1, huh?
We have a 10 seed in the Elite Eight and now a 13 seed.
Well, we knew it was going to be a crazy college basketball season.
The Chili's bracket is just falling apart. The Chili's bracket has just gone berserk with Chili's, the 1 seed, hanging on.
I like those Red Lobster cheese biscuits that don't fall apart. No.
Still in the Wine and Dine
All right.
region. We have the 11 seed Red Robin versus the 2 seed Olive Garden.
Oh.
Tough one. I'm going OG. The original. The original OG.
Some of these text messages are just fantastic.
What?
Somebody says options at Chili's. Get in a fight with a drunken redneck or indigestion. That's about it. I don't know what Chili's you're going to. I've never had an issue at any Chili's.
That's funny.
I'm going Royal Red Robin. I'm going Red Robin.
This is the end of Red Robin's run. Olive Garden, the 2 seed, advances.
It's hard to defeat the OG.
Boy, Gabe felt good about knocking them out, didn't he? The end of Red Robin's run. All right.
I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel good about any person that I.
I thought you were anti-Olive Garden, and then you switched on me.
Red Robin though, it's just I've never been a big Red Robin.
Moving on.
Moving on. We have the 8 seed Denny's, who upset the Cheesecake Factory in round 2, and Benihana.
I'm not even sure.
4 seed.
I'm not even sure that was an upset. I think Denny's might have been favored, even though they were the lower seed.
I'm going to go Benihana.
Has a 1 versus 8? Has an 8 ever been actually favored in a game like that?
I don't think so.
I'm going Benihana. Not easy, but I'm going Benihana.
I'm going with tradition here. I've got to go Denny's because of when I was the little kid, when on Christmas Eve after church, we always went to Denny's. So it has a special place in my heart.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Benihana moves on.
I would have thought he went Denny's. I would have thought he went Denny's.
Onion Volcano wins over your stupid family tradition.
Now, we have here, let's see, Cracker Barrel, 6 seed, versus Outback, the 2 seed.
Oh, this one's easy.
Yeah,
Outback.
Another layup.
Outback.
Is
Outback going to win this thing? They have been strong.
Well, our voters are going to decide that. So who knows, man? They've been ripping us apart for our picks.
Somebody else texted and said, I've never had trouble at Chili's, but I might be the drunk redneck. I've never thought of it that way. I guess I could be the problem. I've never had a problem, but I could be the problem for other people.
Here we go. Last region of the day. 2 more games. Hooters, the 8 seed. This is the Cinnamon Butter region, by the way. Hooters, the 8 seed, versus Dave & Buster's, the 12 seed.
I'm still going Dave & Buster's. That hurts.
Hooters. I got
that
Hooters.
hurts me to knock out Hooters, but I don't know.
Man, now
Eli's making the final decision.
Putting on me in a tough decision.
Yes.
Games, drinks, food versus food and,
frolicking.
Gonna go Hooters. Gotta go Hooters.
Hooters with a strong performance into the Elite Eight as an 8 seed. Now, IHOP, the 3 seed versus Wingstop, the 7 seed.
I'm going to go IHOP.
I think y'all know my opinion.
I know.
I think I'm not even going to say it again. It'll be the third time today.
Wing is in the name. Gabe is on that side. I'm going to go IHOP.
Wow.
IHOP. Hops Wingstop right out of this thing.
Now our Elite Eight is set.
We're
going to have our listeners vote on this over the weekend via Twitter. We have in the Chili's region, Chili's versus Papado. Wine and Dine region, Buca versus the OG Olive Garden. Ooh. Large menu region, Benihana versus Outback. Cinnamon butter region, Hooters versus IHOP.
The Buca versus Olive Garden, that's the Italian bracket.
That's a tough one. I think there are 2 really, really hard ones and 2 easy ones in my opinion. But again, it will be our listeners. We need you to vote. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabe will give you further instructions about that in hour number 3. We remind you over the weekend to help us out so we can have a champion crowned on Monday. When we come back, Corey Evans, the national basketball analyst at Rivals.com. Hour 3 is on deck. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
One thing I really admire about Central Barbecue is their commitment to quality.
Then why do they let you do their commercials?
I'm talking about their food. Everything is prepared with devotion to taking the time and effort to create perfect barbecue.
Oh, I know. That's exactly why I was wondering why...
They're not kidding with that slow-smoked Memphis-style slogan. They smoke their pork for 14 hours. Do they have to? They do if they want to be the best barbecue in Memphis, and they are.
And yet they let you just throw together...
There's nothing better than Central Barbecue because they care.
Except apparently about their radio ads.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 Early Riser Planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a rugged row unit for a fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH equipment headquarters.
Now exclusively at the Home Depot. Give your lawn a 1-2 punch with a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action and save 50% on a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Ultra Feed. Pick up both bags. Apply Triple Action now to knock out tough weeds and Ultra Feed 8 weeks later to green and feed all season. 2 bags. 1 stronger, greener lawn. For the 1-2 punch with Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action and 50% on a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Ultra Feed. Now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. While supplies last, selection varies by store.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. High noon on a Friday. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Gabe Kuhn. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays, delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, the great folks at FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to learn how FedEx can help your business thrive online. A little bit later on in the hour, 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. But without further ado, he's the national basketball analyst at Rivals.com. You can follow him on Twitter at CoreyEvans_10. Corey Evans joins us once again on Sports 56 Middays. Hey, Corey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
You know, it's weird just to we're doing okay. It's weird, but you have to ask how everybody's doing. And we know we're all doing pretty poorly, right? Let's be honest here. This is just unprecedented times, historical times. It is so strange. And in your world, as far as keeping up with these young men and what they're doing as far as their college intentions, their professional ambitions, I mean, everything kind of is put on hold right now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. I mean, it's all about there's so many what-if factors for the most part. Fortunately, a lot of, or the majority, or more than the majority of the 2020 class had already came to their decisions for college. But right now, the transfer portal is the end-all, be-all. Mm-hmm. And, I just don't know how all these kids are going to come to the decision to make a commitment without visiting a college, visiting a campus. So it's pretty surreal with the time we're in and the decisions that are upcoming that are going to directly impact next college season.
So for the University of Memphis, they have nobody signed as of now. There are some big targets out there that they are still hoping on. One of those being Jalen Green. I know he had said that he plans on making the decision around April 15th, or making his announcement around April 15th. He said everything is on the table, including still possibility of going pro rather than playing college. What do you think happens with Jalen Green?
Honestly, no one knows yet because Jalen Green does not know. A lot of people believe that Auburn will be it. I definitely think Auburn came and made a late run at things and is neck and neck with Memphis right now. But I do believe that he wants to play for someone like Mike Miller and Penny Hardaway. And I think the relationship that he has with those two individuals might trump all else. And we all know that Memphis didn't have the season that they had hoped for. But I don't think it really affects Jalen Green for the most part.
So, Corey, you don't think and again, everything's going to be pushed back because of where we are, but with the latest deal with the NCAA and not knowing what's going to happen to Memphis with possible penalties, which could include a postseason ban for next year, you don't think that will alter the mindset of some of these youngsters that are thinking about Memphis?
It definitely is hanging over their heads a little bit, and you better believe rival opponents are using that against Memphis. Mm-hmm. But end of the day, I think it all comes down to relationships and trust, and
right.
If these kids trust, Mike and Penny and everyone else on the staff there at Memphis and what they can really achieve there, that still might win out, I believe.
There is some thought that Mike Miller will not be back one way or another, or maybe get a head coaching job, although we don't know how much more because of all this. We're going to be coming available there, or may just not come back. How much would that affect Memphis's efforts if it's Penny but not Mike?
I think it would impact it somewhat because Mike is the lead recruiter of Jalen Green, and not that Jalen does not have a relationship with Penny. That's not true, but that goes a long way. Having that relationship and that foundation built with one person, and if they leave, that's all gone. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to say Mike Miller is the end-all, be-all with Jalen Green coming to Memphis, but he is definitely a primary reason why he would.
What percentage, if you had to put a percentage on it, confident are you that he will go to college and not just go pro?
About 85.
Really?
I'd
Okay.
say 85%. I think that Jalen does want to attend college. Jalen does want to go through the process and enjoy everything that goes into being a college athlete. But then again, you always want to. You never want to close that door, right? Like you never want to say I'm not going that route, just because who knows what one professional outlet could offer, whether it be monetary, financially, or even the situation it might be. But I do believe that he will be attending college and be one of the faces of the college sport next year.
The other thought would be is, and I know things are supposedly getting better in China, and certainly we're far away from it here. But the speculation of how long this thing will go on could affect next year's college basketball season, whereas turning professional, there may be some leagues in Australia, in China that are, past all this COVID-19 where you can play professionally. So, I mean, there's a lot of factors that certainly have to go in, but do you believe he's sticking to was it April 15th announcement date?
Yeah, I believe April 15th is the day that the late signing period begins. I don't know if he will actually sign a national letter of intent, but rather financial aid papers. But I do believe that it'll be, early to mid-April. I think Jalen wants to get it over with as soon as possible. I think he, honestly, he's a kid. I mean, he just wants to play basketball. So he likes to get it over with, I believe. But I do think that the next 2-3 weeks we will know for sure where Jalen Green will be in the fall.
All right, and then Greg Brown is another guy that certainly is high on the Memphis list, and he has Memphis on his list. What are your thoughts on that 5-star performer?
Yeah, I changed my prediction earlier in the week, and a lot of Memphis fans didn't like it too much, but I changed my prediction from Memphis to Texas, and I thought Memphis did a phenomenal job of making a late run at things, but Greg's the kind of kid that, just like Jalen, wants to play basketball. That's about it. He lives 15 minutes from Texas campus. Uncle and father both play football at Texas. And, I'm not saying the coronavirus definitely impacted it one way or another, but it did. I mean, there were questions about Shaka Smart's longevity in Austin. With what you discussed earlier about Shaka Smart and the coaching carousel being somewhat minimal this year, it seems like Shaka is not going anywhere. And, that relationship is strong between Shaka and Greg Brown and his family. And I think at the end of the day that if Shaka is there, so will Greg Brown.
Talking with Corey Evans here on the program, talking a little recruiting with him. Other than those two guys, are there other who are maybe another guy or two and maybe transfers that you think Memphis could possibly get?
Yeah, they're still heavily involved with Kareem Maine right now from Canada, and that's one guy that they are definitely remaining in touch with throughout. He's a 5-star guard that had a chance to potentially go right to the NBA this summer because he's a 4-year graduate from high school and he's of the proper age. But Kareem's all over the place right now. Marquette is heavily involved. Michigan State's involved. DePaul's involved. Pittsburgh's involved. Maryland. But so is Memphis. That's definitely one guy I think that is worth monitoring from Memphis' sake. And, I will say this again, like, it's not like I know Memphis has not secured a commitment in 2020, but outside of Precious, unless someone transfers, I don't know who, there aren't many holes that need to be filled, if they get Jalen Green, they're in a great spot. They're a year older, and they have some guys that, Malcolm Dandridge will be healthy. They'll have Isaiah Stokes ready to go. Lester Quinones and Jeffries come back, and Damian Ball and Boogie Ellis and Tyler Harris, Alex Lomax, and you throw a Jalen Green in there. they're not missing a whole lot to compete for an AAC title and also a national title.
How about Musa Cisse? Do you think, and he has continued to say that he's not going to reclassify, just led Lausanne to a state championship in Tennessee. What do you think the possibility is of him reclassifying? And what do you think about his future? Is it Memphis as most people believe?
I don't think it is, honestly. I think they're definitely involved, but I would not call them the leader. I think LSU is one school to watch, and I think so is Florida State, a program that he has already taken an official visit to. Georgetown's involved, so is Kentucky, and so is a million other high major schools. But, I do believe that there's a chance that he does reclassify. I know he's not willing to say that he will, but I think by the end of the summer, and with what he could accomplish on the travel circuit, hopefully it does take place. And with what you just said, what he did on the high school scene there in Memphis, I think he's about ready for the college game.
Do you think, Corey, though, the whole Wiseman ordeal would be one of the reasons why he goes elsewhere, or is it just better relationships in your mind, better opportunities at other places?
Yeah, I don't think the Wiseman thing plays a factor whatsoever. Furthermore, I think Henny might have came out on the bright side with that because he stood up for his kids and was willing to go to bat for his kids. So I think that might have actually been beneficial for how prospects and recruits and the proper mentors look at a guy like Penny. But I do not believe that the James Wiseman scenario would affect Musa Cisse in any way.
Speaking of Wiseman, what do you think of Wiseman as an NBA prospect, and where should he go in this draft?
I've never been as high on James Wiseman compared to other people in my industry, but I will say this from a physical dimensions, tangible perspective, he's number one. I mean, he's a 7-foot lefty big man with a 7'6" wingspan that can run the floor like a 6'5" guard. Can shoot it. I mean, great touch around the basket, great rim protector. You put all those into one human being, that James Wiseman, it's pretty hard to deter his upside potential.
Right.
I still think that he's a top 3, top 4 prospect in his class. I know the sport of basketball has kind of gone away from the true center, which he is, but there still is great, great value in a guy like James. And I think it depends heavily on how the lottery portion of the draft plays itself out and the franchises picking, 1 through 5. But I think a place like Golden State would be ideal for him with that environment and situation and atmosphere around guys like Steph and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. They need a true 5-man. That's what James is. That'd be a perfect situation, I believe.
I agree. Corey Evans joining us, national basketball analyst at Rivals.com. You can follow him on Twitter at CoreyEvans_10. How much did Precious improve his stock, and what do you expect from Achua in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Whenever the James Wiseman situation was actually playing out, I wrote about if there's one guy to get the most of it, it's Precious. And that definitely played out as we saw. I mean, the guy was averaging, 22 and 18 a game for the past 4 games of the season. Player of the year in the conference, freshman year in the conference. He's special, man. He kind of got back to what we all saw when he was an underclassman and a junior in high school. Instead of trying to be a skilled guy, he was a hard-playing blue-collar guy, and his numbers reflected that. So I don't see why he's not a lottery pick or a top 10 draft pick. I know he's not there on most draft boards, but the progressions he's made and what he does and his comparable to James Wiseman, the physical dimensions and the tangibles are off the charts. You plug him in a place that can just let him be kind of a rover on defense and switch different spots, a 2 through 4, 2 through 5, hit a 3-point shot every other game and rebound. I mean, I don't see why he can't flourish at the next level.
The Anthony Edwards really shocked the world by announcing he's turning pro today. What did you think of his year at Georgia? And what do you believe he should go number one overall? Do you like Ball? Who do you think will be the best in this draft class?
Yeah, it's a difficult question. I think Anthony Edwards is the best talent, probably. It's definitely a down year for NBA draft talent. But Edwards, I think, at his best, is the best of anyone in this draft. But it's more about consistency from him. You know, the last game of his college career wasn't the best. I know they beat Ole Miss by 20 in the SEC tournament, but I believe he shot 2 for 12, and the game before that he was maybe 5 for 22. So he's definitely a high-volume guy. I don't know how well his shot translates. Is he a 2? Is he a 1? Is he an Oladipo type, or is he someone that just is a high-volume two-guard scorer in the mold of Malik Monk? But I think from an upside potential, he's the best, and I think that's why he goes number one.
Wanted to ask you about, I'm going back to, we were talking about Musa, and you brought up some of the teams that are certainly in the mix for him, and you mentioned LSU and Will Wade. On the 31st on HBO, the documentary about Christian Dawkins, The Scheme, is coming out. And I think, first of all, this will be one of the biggest ratings getter for because of the fact that we're all at home. So everybody's going to be watching this thing. We're dying for sports. Everybody knows about this FBI investigation that went down. And now they're going to hear on wiretaps Will Wade, Sean Miller, things of that nature. I don't know what's going to end up happening with the NCAA and Bill Self certainly with the NCAA in Kansas, but I just think that now this is going to shed a little bit more light where there's going to be a little bit more pressure on those universities. And I wonder now if it will also affect at all the players that are looking at those institutions. What do you think about that, Corey?
That's a difficult question there to answer, because you would have thought by now, if it would have affected recruiting for those programs, it would have played out as such. I understand that seeing it, on a TV, and actually hearing it physically, it might impact it somewhat. But then again, we saw September 26th or whatever it was, 2017, and we saw, four coaches and whatever it was fired. Those programs all the next year finished with top 25 recruiting classes.
They did.
So,
they did.
It might affect it somewhat, but until those coaches are gone and there's a show cause penalty and there's restrictions for postseason play and whatnot, I still don't see it having that great of an impact on those programs and the recruiting efforts.
See, here's what I'm looking at. I don't know how many times we talk about maybe an injury in football or basketball or baseball and professional sports and go, man, oh man, that guy got clocked. And then until you see the video of the blood coming out on the guy with his head laying on the ice, it doesn't have the same impact until you actually see it, right? So now you have all these people, listening to Will Wade. And my thought is that, they may still get recruits, but I would almost bet that everybody's going to watch that thing. They're going to think Will Wade's, even though, look, we know we're not naive to what goes on in collegiate sports, big-time collegiate sports. But when you hear that, and everybody who's watching that is going to hear that, and they're going to think, oh, my God, these guys are paying off players. So every subsequent player that signs that is a big name, they're going to look at it and go, he's getting paid. There's no question he's getting paid. So I brought it back to what you were saying with Musa looking at LSU and Auburn and all these other schools. I just think, I don't know what it will result in, Corey, but I think it's going to be very impactful to see it and to hear it with your own ears.
Yeah, I understand that. Definitely understand that. But I will say this as well, is what does that really mean to these kids? It doesn't affect, at the end of the day, all they want to do is, priority one is make the NBA, and priority two is win. So as long as there's no postseason ban, these kids, they really don't care. I mean, if you have Arizona who will have 3 NBA first-round draft picks this year, and potentially 3 lottery picks.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was talking about Sean Miller. Guess what? Those guys are still achieving their dreams.
Sure.
So as long as Sean Miller and Will Wade and those guys are allotting the proper platform to achieve what they want to achieve, it's not going to deter them from where they go.
It won't affect the kids. But then it but it definitely involves the people that are in their inner circle. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's family. Most people believe that Wiseman eventually said, I'm not coming back because he was kind of pressured into doing it, that it really wasn't his own decision, although he said on the interview with Woj that it was. So, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but I think you're absolutely right. At the core, that's what the kids are trying to do. They're trying to go to one school that they think can really help them prepare for the NBA, be a one and done, and move on. And that's why, again, with Memphis and having Penny Hardaway, it's great because of the NBA connections, or having Mike Miller as well, as we go full circle back to our thoughts on Jalen Green. But it's going to be an interesting time. There's no question about it. And, of course, Corey Evans will be on top of all this. You make sure that you follow him on Twitter at CoreyEvans_10. National basketball analyst at Rivals.com. Make sure you follow and subscribe to Rivals and follow Corey Evans. Corey, thank you, man. Really appreciate your time. It's going to be a fun, interesting deal with the recruiting and everything that's coming up here in the next couple of months.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Have a great day, man. Be safe down there.
You as well. Appreciate it, Corey.
Thank you. Well, I mentioned earlier, East Coast Wings and Grill, they are, because they're not actually the city of Memphis, they are open today. And obviously you can do the pickup to-go orders. They'll do that all the time, but they are going to stay open for people to come in. Again, it's very limited seating. They're putting a lot of space. It's every other table where they're seating people, very few seats up at the bar area. You're keeping people at the social distancing numbers and things like that, but you can go in there and eat, as well as, of course, get orders to go and take them. That's at East Coast Wings and Grill. The full menu, from the wings to the burgers to the flatbreads and anything else they have available on the to-go menu. But again, you are still able to go in there and eat and sit down at East Coast Wings and Grill, just off Highway 64 in Bartlett, next to Lowe's is where you will find them. And again, they're staying open for as long as they can. We don't know how much longer that will be, at which time they will switch to just to-go orders at that time. But right now, because they are not in the city of Memphis, they are allowed to stay open, and so they are open today for you at East Coast Wings and Grill.
When we come back, let's play 10 in a row. Jump on the phone lines right now. Don't wait around. Get on the phone lines, 360-8255. We'll play 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more. Right here, R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Don't miss it.
Let's talk about the fast and fresh breakfast you can enjoy every day at Sunrise on Jefferson. There's nothing more mouth-watering than the house-made buttermilk biscuits, and why not have one of the fantastic breakfast sandwiches on one? Maybe the Dirty South with fried green tomato, or the Rooster with fried chicken, pickle, and Tabasco, or for just $1 more, add an egg for the mother and child reunion. There's the Tennessee Jed, or even the Fit Biscuit with turkey, bacon, and egg whites if you're into that kind of thing. It's all made fresh and fast, just for you at Sunrise.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Ben Swinger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Ben Swinger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Ben Swinger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswingerglass.com. Ben Swinger Glass.
I'm John Conway with Conway Services. Is your home's main sewer line backed up? Do you have multiple plumbing fixtures in your home backing up? Better call Conway Services for our $99 main drain opening special with accessible cleanout. We'll come out and open your home's main drain for only $99. And if it should clog again over the next year, we'll come back and open it again for free. Springtime is the time of the year when tree roots start growing, and many of them find their way right into your sewer line. We'll come and inspect your main sewer line using our state-of-the-art Root-O-Vision camera system, all for only $99. That's right, Conway Services $99 main drain opening special with accessible cleanout and a camera inspection. Trust the Rooter experts at Conway Services for all your drain and sewer needs. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. Your neighborhood Rooter experts.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles, when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:28 is the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Middays. It's rough for everybody. We try to bring you as much entertainment as possible, but also information with everything that's changing by the minute. But when we can have fun, we try to have a little fun. And we always have fun on Fridays with 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
Please jump on the phone lines right now if you'd like to participate in 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation, 360-8255.
That's right. The winner of 10 in a row today is going to get $25 gift certificate to East Coast Wings and Grill, which I mentioned is technically still open right now. And even if they are forced to close, they will still do takeout service. And $25 to Sunrise. We talked with Craig Blondis earlier in the program. Sunrise is still open for takeout purposes. He mentioned all the Central Barbecues, Sunrise, Sweetgrass, the restaurants that they own that are all still open for takeout. 3rd and Court and 117 Prime downtown, not open at all. But Sunrise is a place, breakfast, lunch. You can do takeout there from Sunrise. We'll give you $25 to Sunrise, $25 to East Coast Wings and Grill to the winner of 10 in a row.
Hey, not too shabby. Here's the question. Coaches who have coached a team to an NBA title. So coaches who have won an NBA title as a coach, not as a player. Coaches who have coached a team to an NBA title. If they have, it's a yes. If not, it's a no. It is that simple. 360-8255, 360-8255. I did not throw you any softballs with Phil Jackson or Red Auerbach.
Could you throw a softball with Taylor Jenkins?
Nor did I go that way either.
360-8255, the phone number to play 10 in a row. Again, the winner going to get $25 from East Coast Wings and Grill, $25 from Sunrise Memphis as well. Now, we are not allowing folks to come pick up prizes here at the station at this point, but we can mail those prizes to you, so you do have that opportunity. But right now, you are not able to come pick up prizes here at our studios, obviously, with the coronavirus issues. Joe is first up. Hey, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Hope you're doing well as well. All right. Coaches who have won an NBA title as a coach. Mike Fratello.
No.
Larry Brown.
Yes.
Don Nelson.
No.
Billy Cunningham.
Ooh, no.
360-8255. Who's next?
Next up, we go to Thomas. Hey, Thomas, what's up, man?
Hi, Thomas.
Hey, guys, how you doing? I hope y'all staying safe.
You too.
We're
you
trying
too.
our best. You too, man.
Thanks for listening. All right, here we go. Jerry Sloan.
Yes.
Oh. 360-8255. Jump on the phone lines right now. Coaches who have coached a team to an NBA title.
Jerry Sloan coached a long time.
And was
And
very
got
successful.
Close. Got very close. But
Dan Marino of NBA coaches.
next up, 360-8255, we go to Bill. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Bill. Hello, Bill. Bill's getting his hair cut, I think. I'm not sure. What does that sound like he was getting his hair cut?
Shaving. He was shaving, I think. It could have been a haircut.
Just getting a quick trim in before he tries 10 in a row. Thought he'd sort of give it an effort, but we'll have to wait. Is Bill there now? All right,
Okay, I think we got him.
Let's give Bill another try here. Hey, Bill, what's up?
Okay.
All
right, here we go, Bill. Mike Fratello.
No.
Larry Brown.
Yes.
Don Nelson.
No.
Billy Cunningham.
Yes.
Rudy Tomjanovich.
Yes.
Hubie Brown.
Yeah.
360-8255. We play 10 in a row. The question, coaches who have coached a team to an NBA title.
We get $25 to East Coast Wings and Grill and $25 to Sunrise, going to the winner of 10 in a row today. Next up is Tony. Hey, Tony.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, Tony. Man. Jerry Sloan.
No.
Jack Ramsey.
Yes.
Kevin Lockery.
No.
George Karl.
No.
Paul Westhead.
Yes.
Mike D'Antoni.
No.
Rick Adelman.
No.
Lenny Wilkins.
Yes.
Doc Rivers.
Yes.
Flip Saunders.
No.
Winner.
There is a winner. Congratulations, Tony. You are a winner. Hold on. And again, Gabe will let you know how you were able to get those prizes.
All right.
Wow, nice run by Tony.
That was good. And you could tell when you could get a list in front of you. Obviously, you can Google it, but there was like no delays. So, he was either really quick looking at the Google or he really knew his stuff and he nailed it. And congratulations to Tony. All right, so I'll give you the first list. See how well you'll do on this one. Mike Fratello.
No.
Larry Brown.
Yes.
Don Nelson.
No.
Billy Cunningham.
Yes.
Rudy Tomjanovich.
Yes.
Hubie Brown.
No.
Okay, here's where we left off. Byron Scott.
No.
Bernie Bickerstaff.
No.
Jeff Van Gundy.
No.
Mark Jackson.
No.
Give yourself a hand. Give yourself a hand.
Well done, Eli. Well
that
done.
is
Very
10
well done.
in a row.
The Associated Press has announced their All-American teams for this season in college basketball. The first team AP All-American group, Obi Toppin of Dayton, Luca Garza of Iowa, Marcus Howard of Marquette, Miles Powell of Seton Hall, and Peyton Pritchard of Oregon. So that leaves like think about a first-team All-American team that includes a guy from Dayton, Iowa, Marquette, Seton Hall, Oregon. Yeah. How strange that is. No Duke guys, no Kansas guys, no Kentucky guys. Like, that is a weird collection of schools for a first-team All-American team.
Nobody deserves it. Nobody deserves what we're going through. But it's almost fitting that in a year, every week we talked about how crazy the college basketball season was and number ones were getting knocked off like it was going out of style, that we have a situation where the NCAA tournament is canceled, where, as you mentioned, the All-American team features a lot of teams you wouldn't usually talk about as with first-team All-Americans. It was just an absolutely crazy year, and then cut short prematurely by something unprecedented.
Now, the second team gets a little bit more blue-blooded.
Right.
Devin Dotson of Kansas, Udoka Azubuike of Kansas, Malachi Flynn of San Diego State certainly does not fit that blue blood.
No.
Cassius Winston from Michigan State and Vernon Carey Jr. from Duke making up the second team. So you get a couple of Kansases, a Duke, and a Michigan State on the second team All-American. Third team, Philip Petrusev of Gonzaga, Jordan Nwora of Louisville, Jared Butler of Baylor, Trey Jones of Duke, and Jalen Smith of Maryland.
Jones?
And then in the honorable mention, no Precious Achua. Mason Jones of Arkansas did get 11 votes. You had to get at least 10 votes, 10 points in the voting to be an honorable mention. Precious Achua does not get there. Mason Jones of Arkansas last on that list with 11 points in the voting.
What do you think of Marcus Howard, who's only 5'11", but can score in bunches? What do you think about him at the NBA level? Any chance to be successful, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a chance. He shot 41% from three-point range. And, I mean, you're obviously the thought anybody will have is like Steph Curry. Can you become like that type of – if you could just shoot
that would be
it,
successful.
If you could shoot it at that level and you're that big of a scorer, that has the you'd think that could translate in some way. But we'll see. I mean – I don't expect him to be a great NBA player, but I think he certainly can play in the NBA.
See, I think Obi Toppin is going to be a really good NBA player. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Kawhi Leonard, but he reminds me of a guy played at a smaller school, Kawhi playing at San Diego State. I think Toppin's going to be terrific. Luka Garza, I'm not so sure.
G League, like a lot of those Iowa guys.
He put up some numbers, man. Goodness gracious, he
put
up some numbers.
He did, but like the way he plays, it doesn't really lend itself to the NBA
I agree.
game.
I agree. I love Miles Powell.
He shot almost 36% from 3-point range this year. If he can shoot that at the NBA level
with his size,
I mean, that's what they're looking for is that guy because he, then the question becomes who you guard. But at 6'11", 260, he can guard any center. I mean, he can be kind of a stretch 5 type guy. I don't know. The thing is, I didn't watch him play a ton. I don't watch a bunch of Iowa basketball because Iowa basketball bores me.
He spends a lot of time around the basket. The shooting, he has a good percentage, but it's not something he does all the time.
Yeah, I don't know how many attempts. I don't have how many attempts he has.
I think it's like 3 a game, basically.
But yeah, he'll be an interesting case, there's no doubt. But I mean, those numbers are pretty ridiculous what he put up this year.
Peyton Pritchard, I think, has a chance to be a good NBA player. I like some of these guys on the second team. I mean, what do you think about Azubuike?
I like him as a defensive player, but I just don't know I don't know that he's ever going to be an offensive guy, and able to do much on the offensive end in the NBA. But defensively, he is a monster.
I like Vernon Carey Jr. I think Tyus' little brother, Trey Jones, could be a solid NBA player. I'm not the biggest Cassius Winston. I love the kid and what he went through and what a leader he is, but I'm not so sure Cassius Winston is going to be a slam dunk, stud in the NBA.
I don't necessarily think he's going to be a stud in the NBA. No, but I think he again
rotation guy.
He can play
long-term rotation guy in the NBA. Jalen Smith sticks for Maryland. I don't know. Recently, these Maryland guys have gone to the NBA and haven't been able to do much. There's a lot of them in the NBA now, and they haven't produced like they're supposed to produce. Now, some of them are young, like Bruno Fernando. We'll see how it turns out for him. But right now, not producing. Nobody's producing. Nobody's playing.
Bruno Fernando, in those 2 games the Grizzlies played Atlanta, looked terrible.
I know.
Me. Like, and
I wasn't the biggest fan of him.
Out, like,
I wasn't the biggest fan.
I wasn't thinking he'd be like great right away, but I thought he could and he's just playing. But like, I just didn't think. I didn't expect him to look that bad. He just looked. He looked uncoordinated. Like he just looked really bad to me in those 2 games they played.
Yeah, look, Alex Len certainly hasn't lived up to where he was drafted because his size. He got drafted out of Maryland. Kevin Huerter, I thought would be better. He's not been the player I thought he could be. He ended up being dealt. Who's the other kid? Layman, Jake Layman, has not been the player. So yeah, they haven't lived up to the expectations. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration, they do live up to their expectations. They expect a high-quality service for you. That's what they pride themselves on, and that's what they do. Brandon McCullough, owner of the company, give him a call at 901-438-5084. Look, I know things right now are tough, but when things get better, you're going to need service on your roof. You're going to need service around your home. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration is a local company that will do the job for you. They'll do it well. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. and you get a free roof inspection. They do residential and commercial roofing. So business owners, property managers out there, if you have a leak or any other roofing issue, call Brandon Tay. Again, they'll come out and do a free roof inspection. Also, they offer financing, which is going to be very important in the coming weeks and months. They offer different plans and options, including a 6, a 12, even an 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket. There's a $100 referral fee for the purchase of a new roof. So you tell somebody about Pinnacle, they end up using Pinnacle. Pinnacle will give you the $100 for referring that person or those people to their company. They do carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, install shingles, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. There's a 5-year labor warranty on all their roofs, and satisfaction with all their work is guaranteed. Quality work at a very good price. It's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or check them out online at newroofmemphis.com.
So I'm looking, I just went to NBADraft.net, just chose that one as I'm looking at, I don't see them with Luka Garza in either this year or next year's mock draft. Luka Garza is at least draftable, like in the second round.
I'm telling you from watching him, he is definitely most comfortable around the basket, and I don't think he's athletic enough at the NBA level to really fit. I think he's, by no doubt, going to get a chance and definitely going to be a G League player or a presence, honestly. I think he could be a good G League player. But we're going to he's going to have to do
do you think he's not draftable?
I think he's late draftable, late second round.
So do you think he comes out?
He shouldn't.
Dude put up 23 a night or whatever in the best conference.
Well, Garza, if he stays and we play basketball next year, Iowa, if they're able to do anything else on the recruiting trail, man, that's a solid team.
The one thing about him, he's very skilled, and the issue becomes who can he guard?
Yeah.
And is he athletic enough to at least compete in the post with some of those guys in the NBA? And I don't think so at this moment, but he'll get a shot.
That's surprising. I would have thought he at least would have been a second round guy in this. It is crazy because like most of the guys on that All-American team for this year, like are second round guys in this mock draft.
Right.
I mean, there's only a couple of them that they even have in the first round, and two of they got the two Kansas guys going as the last 2 picks of the first round. They've got Nwora going 24.